What would you point out?
Dude, I don't even know.
Man, he's a marketing genius.
Vinny and Sendog are as important as any. Listen, I've broken this down every way. Without them, this shit does not exist.
Spig Nice is
Spig
the
Nice.
fuck.
Well, there were 7 of them.
But what does Spig Nice do?
What did Freaky Todd do?
He rapped a little bit, and he was like,
he was like the bass.
Yeah, he was a split star.
What?
He was like split star.
Was it the hype man for
Flip
Mode?
Goes,
the wannabe Flip Mode in Def Squad. That's quite a diss. That by the way, that is thrown that Capadonna throw. Oh, who is that? To the wannabe Flip Mode in Def Squad. Yeah, it's Capadonna because they ain't rhyming for shit. Capadonna stopped rhyming his words before anybody else.
Are you still sick? No.
It's Corona.
Killer Priest, really
Killer Priest is amazing.
He I don't think he ever rhymed words.
Yeah, and I think Killer Priest was in that group I was talking about.
I think wisely between 2 pillars of ivory.
That's a dope verse, right? But then there's a lot of other ones that aren't.
So what do you think he has? He has points. Does Killer Priest have points for? It's so odd. I've always, even having done the liner notes for Liquid Swords, that there's just a song that the genius isn't on.
Do you hear that? Having done the liner notes for Liquid Swords, it's like, doesn't the earth just pause on its axis for a moment?
Because we haven't done the linear notes for Liquid Swords.
Yeah.
How do we know?
Oh, God, that old classic.
You know what I mean?
That throwaway album, that mixtape.
Fucking guy. Fucking guy. Are we recording yet? Oh, we are recording. So we are sitting there right now.
Oh, man.
Recording. Talking about Liquid Swords.
So we just got that because I wore the Uncontrolled Substance shirt for you, Chris.
Oh, thanks.
For that Chris, not this Chris, and not that Chris. There's 3 Chris's.
Well, who the fuck are we? Who are you?
Tash, do you know what the single off Uncontrolled Substance is?
I don't.
The Rec Room.
Yeah,
I remember that 12-inch.
Rec, yeah. It's like sliding across the hood of the car. That's an Uncontrolled Substance.
That's the cover.
That's the cover.
That is across the.
Oh, it's a different shot. He's
you're right. No, you're right.
So, we are sitting here right now, right? Big Dookie Chain podcast, episode 3.
We made it to number 3.
All right.
It was touch and go there for a second with the laptop, but the Chris's put their heads together while I sat here and drank coffee.
Well, that's what we need you to do is get that fucking velvety smooth voice ready to go,
Sweet, sultry something that just slides right off the tongue.
Who are we sitting here with right now?
Oh, my God. A legend. Somebody who just casually in conversation was like, yeah, when I was writing the
linear notes for Liquid Swords.
Yeah, the linear notes.
Yeah, the liner notes.
Jesus, the linear notes.
What the fuck?
All right,
rewind. The time out. In all serious though, because we are gonna go
It's a hip hop podcast, right?
It is. It's a whatever the fuck podcast.
Yeah, we're not quite sure yet.
But
he just put me onto the fact that Mak-Tube.
Mak-Tube, yeah.
And I picked up The Alchemist again. I was like, I got to figure out if this dude's fucking with me.
No, that's the whole fucking point of the.
You read a book?
I read a lot of books. He actually just gave me. He came in and gave me a second edition of The Alchemist.
So he could give it to someone else. That's just how it works.
Second edition.
And you didn't even gift that to me yet. You're waiting until after the show.
I've only had.
But you already read it.
You already have
it.
I
already read it.
A page you read it.
But I don't have a gifted copy from a dude who wrote the liner notes for Liquid Swords.
It's true. It is true when he puts it like that.
It's like
true.
John Voight's.
That's how I'm gonna
convertible.
That's how I'm gonna tell people when I describe it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Exactly it. But hold on. Because we are going to get in all this crap, and the 3 of us, it's going to go down a fucking bunch of rabbit holes. And I want to just tell everyone first, who, because I want to say for a second who we're sitting with. Because it's important right here, what we're sitting with right now. This, as far as I'm concerned, is the axis of Boston hip-hop during those 2,000 years. Because there was no internet yet. You couldn't. No. It was in its infancy. There was no social media. There was no YouTube. No one cared about the internet.
That's true.
You couldn't go. You couldn't go online and type in a song name and get a fucking song. It was just starting.
Still downloading porn from AOL chat rooms.
Well, hold on before you go off, because I really want people to know this is important. Because if you wanted hip hop back in the day, you had to wait till 8 o'clock at night to get 88.9 at night. And this man right here was who spun those records for the last years of 88.9.
Or click play on the CD, but either or.
It wasn't to get it like that. You had to get it like that, and to get information on hip hop, you either had to wait a month to get the source, or you got on Sundays. You had the entertainment section in the Herald, which you wrote.
Local, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So those were the only 2 places. Like Chris, you know that. Like there wasn't anywhere else to get hip hop besides
we were the gatekeepers, huh?
Kind of, yeah.
You
kind
know.
of.
Well,
in a weird fucking way.
And you're from, I mean, the legacy. You were at 88 9 night, which is funny because that, I mean, honestly, it's one of the things like East Skills was, we had mutual friends, and honestly, getting those tapes in New York. Not like I'm saying it's not why I moved to Boston, but just knowing that the scene was up here, it was hard to leave New York. I mean, hip hop was killing. It was 2001 when I moved up here, but getting those tapes is funny. I was just looked up this MOP track that I had only ever heard on 88 9 at night, but it was one of the best shows.
Was it Wolves?
No,
We used to play Wolves a lot. Yeah,
Wolves is
yeah.
the most offensive anti-cop song ever recorded. I don't care what anybody says.
And you played that an awful lot on the
And
Yeah.
I've never even been mistreated by the police.
Well,
Props to Club Snatcher, by the way. You haven't? You're like the most ridiculous person.
No, every time they're like, pat me on the back. Are you okay?
Put him in the
there anything that
definition
we
of
can
white
do for you?
privilege in the fucking series.
No. But do you remember Cheyenne? This kid, when I used to live up in Fort Hill, Mission Hill. When I lived in Mission Hill. Back when they weren't selling alcohol on Sundays in
I
Massachusetts.
remember that.
wow.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was this
Crazy.
kid Cheyenne.
The supermarkets weren't even open on Sundays at one point. It's fucking no. I'm telling you.
No, you had to go to a house party in Hyde Park and like have a kid with a backwards B hat like sitting on
But before we go into supermarkets and backwards B hats, I got to talk about the black kid who was sleeping on my couch.
Okay.
So Cheyenne was sleeping on the couch out back. What was it?
Was the couch outside?
The couch is outside.
Okay, like the wire.
All weather.
Like the wire.
Like the wire. Yes, exactly. Except it wasn't in
Throughout the
it wasn't in
courtyard.
the middle of the courtyard. Yeah.
Okay.
It was but yeah, he would sleep out back, and one day it was myself, and I was the one little speck of salt in a sea of pepper. So there were like 5 black dudes and me. And we're on a hunt, right?
He has to like tell us afterwards. Okay.
We're on a hunt. But not a hunt for cunt. One of my early rap songs, by the way. True, my mom found the lyrics to that.
The fuck?
But anyway, we go down.
Was she offended that it was about her?
Wow.
Oh,
She was
man.
offended that it wasn't about her. She's number one in my eyes, for sure.
Number one cunt, man. Is that what her mug said?
All right, so go on.
Number one cunt.
Damn, man, I can't joke like this anymore because this shit's going to go on Facebook. You're going to tag me in it. And then my uncle's going to watch the whole thing, and that's my mom's brother.
Yeah, well, get used to it.
All right, so we're going to have to just rewind, cut all that shit, and let's get back to brass tacks here. So I'm down there. We're looking for alcohol on a Sunday. So we go down. There's like a chop shop right by Roxbury Crossing train station. And I'm talking to the dude through the fence. So my hands are up like this. I'm talking through the fence, and next thing you know, like 3 squad cars pull up. Legit. They throw all 5 black dudes up against the fence.
And don't touch you?
And ask me if I'm all right.
Stop it!
And that's when I knew I loved the police. Protect and serve, motherfucker.
Because you had your hands, yeah.
And what was
And
the
then
crime? What was going on?
Well, yeah, I said, officer, they were robbing me.
What was the offense? Was somebody selling illegal alcohol? Or is it
No, the cops thought, because I had my hands up, that I was being robbed.
They saw the guy and they were like, he must be getting robbed.
Right.
That's great.
What? As if I can't have any street cred in Mission Hill in the early thousands?
Well, I mean, that's how Bombshot walked around so frequently free at the time.
I don't know how he was ever free.
Were you there when he ripped the ceiling fan out of the at Midway right off the ceiling?
No.
Hold on. How did you guys meet? How did you two?
I know the first time, I think.
How did you two fucking?
How do you remember? You smoke way too much weed.
Well, because I assumed I cheated because I assumed that it was at UGG, right? And it was probably in Hyde Park. You were there, right?
Oh, the Hyde Park is when
so
I met you first.
so I walked in. I'm living. So I found out it's crazy. Even then when Boston was cheap, I came here. I was in school and I was living in Hyde Park. Like who ever goes to Hyde Park? People live in Boston their whole life, never been in Hyde
Leeds
Park.
lives in Hyde Park. He did for a long time.
He did. Leeds lived around the corner. And there were some people. Peter Parker lived there. So there's some people, but it was
a hot
still
spot.
strange.
This is a renaissance.
I remember looking it up because undergroundhiphop.com was not a storefront at the time. It was a warehouse.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I needed I saw that they were literally down the street. It's like this place I'd ordered a million things from over the years. It's now I live down the street from it. I walk in there cold, and I needed a quote, and I think it was like even for like not the source, but probably Elemental or something. And man,
I loved Elemental.
Was Quest not nice?
Oh yeah.
He was brutal, man. But everybody else was there. I mean, JCO was there. And of course, he's giving me his.
Are you working
CDs.
at the paper at the time?
Yeah. I mean, I just moved to Boston, so it's probably like, what was that, 2004? Yeah.
Were you working
2005.
Were you working for Elemental magazine?
I had a column called "Read the Labels" where I profiled a different label every single issue for like 12 issues.
Wow.
So hold on,
I
you
still
walk
love that
you walk
magazine.
in cold.
Best magazine.
Quest is mean to you.
Quest, but
This guy.
JCO's there. There's all the characters. I mean, at the time, there were probably some other people who.
Because Quest was angry because at that
He's
point,
like, we don't comment about music, like artists. Like, what? This guy is an asshole, man. And I'll tell him, he knows it.
But it's not that.
He
He
had to
was
run a tight
probably
ship.
he probably had a fucking huge splinter up his ass because somebody was stealing T-shirts. I know. I'm not even
It was
kidding.
probably him stealing the fucking T-shirt.
You know what? I never stole anything from undergroundhiphop.com.
You didn't need to.
I didn't need. Yeah, actually, it was all the free promo,
Yeah,
right?
the whole place is full of, I mean, honestly, and then the store, of course, But, listen, there's a time where, everybody's going to 5 shows a week. It's like your family.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So it's just definitely a good time. And,
was a
great venues
different time.
that we don't have anymore. Western Front, a ton of Western
Great
Front.
spot.
Well, it depends on how you look at it, but yeah, I loved it.
Dude, were you there at Keith Murray at Western
I mean,
Front?
I'm sure I would have been. I don't remember in particular. Why was it?
That's like I
memorable?
think that was the last concert I remember seeing over there, and he like.
How about the B.
Be-
Dolan
before
church, the
before
B.
he was
Dolan-
known as a super crackhead.
How about B. Dolan and St. Francis's Church of like this and that?
No, but I'm still not convinced you're not B. Dolan. Obviously, I just
that's
no
it.
one will ever convince me that you're not him.
That's Dave Attell.
We hang out.
Everybody knows that's Dave Attell. Like we
Dave
all
Attell.
fucking know it's Dave Attell. Let's be serious here.
And this is all payback for you
Bump.
saying I'm on the cover of Internet MCs.
Wait, we haven't looked it up. Is it really modeled after you?
It is.
So
Hold on. What are you talking
So
about?
the Brian Life cover, the acrobatic song about the chat rooms, you guys, and what's the other big one? Sandbox Automatic at
Yeah,
the time?
Sandbox.
Hold on, time out, back up. Because Brian Life was supposed to be here today. He's gonna come on like in 2 weeks. So hold on. Brian
If
Life,
he can fit us into his busy schedule.
So this is we were talking about what's the best.
but Brian Life painted a picture that was based on you.
Well, I mean, basically. Here. Well, you tell me. Like,
Oh shit!
It's young me.
Did you have sweaters like that?
Cardigans.
Did you? I don't remember you wearing those.
you were an early troll there, though, right? I mean, that was your terrain, or no?
No,
Did
I'm kidding.
you comment
I
on
honestly,
Styles, or
I
no?
never, I was
Oh, you
never,
weren't?
I never even had a name on the forums.
I'm gonna
I was
ask.
never on the forums.
Oh, you weren't?
I managed to do all 13 years of undergroundhiphop.com without going on the forums.
Really?
Except when Trees would like.
That's
point
another
things out.
world just to talk about forums. I mean, they
What
still
the fuck?
exist.
There were 2 of them.
No, there were a lot.
But there was 2 big ones.
Oh, yeah,
that, like,
there were big
everybody
ones,
went
right.
on.
Hip Hop DX.
Hip Hop DX was that was the one.
Sandbox Automatic.
Well, those were
Yeah.
as websites,
Yeah.
but for the
All
forums,
hiphop.com
the
was
forum,
around.
all hip hop had a forum.
There you go. But there was a local Boston one that like everybody
Oh yeah,
was on.
617, right?
Well, you're talking about Lemming Trail?
No, there was.
No,
That was like the hipster
There was
one.
one that like,
Everyone was on it.
You know Dave Scribe.
617
I do know Dave
Circle.
Scribe somehow. Yeah.
616.
Is it the Circle 617?
Yeah, yeah.
Or is that the newer?
617 Live. Was that what it called?
Maybe it was.
That was no. 617 Live was a thing.
What was the?
There was a message board thing.
Yeah.
That all the hip hop, like we would go to the shows and we would do the shows, and then afterwards everyone would be on the message board talking shit like about the shows and people like, and it was like everyone had their name on it, so like you knew like who it was.
This is where we need like. It needs to be like a real studio. We can call up Trees or
Have
somebody.
any of you seen the documentary or is it podcast? Listen
on
to
the DOC?
No,
I
no,
need
the
to.
podcast about the blog era.
No.
I haven't listened to it yet. 'Cause I don't,
On what channel?
no, it's a podcast.
Oh, that's just what.
What
that's
they,
just
what they do is they distribute those through other ways. But anyway, it's about that era, man. It's about all those early blogs and shit. I don't
And they
think,
do multiple episodes just on that.
yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. I
They have a theme, unlike Big Dookie Chain.
Well, we
Well, we have a theme.
We have a theme. It's about
Loose, very loose.
It's about big Dookie chains.
Yeah.
You know?
This is the first time rocking the Dookie Chain. You
so
got the
that's
dollar
I
chain.
see that's the common thread between everything. is the chains.
the chains. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about the name?
It's good. I mean, so long as I said, like, so long as there's nothing else, it's all about the Google, right? It's all about like being able to search for it.
The first thing he asked was if anybody else had the fucking name. Big
No,
Dookie.
because I was, I looked.
That's
for-
Because he's like, how does anyone not have Big
Before he said
Dookie
hello,
Chain?
he's like, so does anyone like have it and stuff? And that like went right into it.
So it's funny, it's I haven't done a lot of. I don't listen to that many hip hop podcasts. But I was listening to the like Dad Bods one or whatever. for
No idea what you're talking about.
Dad Bod Rap Pod. It's one of the big ones of like guys our age or even older, and they're all like I know
supposed to be doing this is the
they're
research.
So they're like former former hip hop writers or still hip hop writers, whatever. Probably my generation and stuff. I can't think of like I don't want to like say the wrong people, but anyway, it's called Dad Bod Rap. And, it's pretty good. And but they had like I was listening to this one episode and they had OC on. And
he's the nicest guy ever,
coolest guy. But it's funny because like I know like everybody makes fun of me for like listen, I know which OC album I've listened to every album the guy ever recorded. I love the Apathy Project, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. OC's the kind of guy who like has actually gotten much better over time, as great as he always has been. Sure, the beats haven't always been there, but these guys like are like before he came on, pretty in my opinion, a little disrespectfully even like. Or maybe it was after he was on, being like, I hadn't listened to any OC albums in years, this, that. And so I like fucking threw some shade on them on fucking Twitter. And like, it's so like nowadays, like you can't be fucking right about some shit because they're just like, that's not the flex. It's like, fuck you, bro. Yeah, it is the flex. Fuck your stupid fucking. I haven't listened to any podcast about hip hop since. I don't need to listen to people who know less than me.
So you were defending OC?
Fuck yeah.
No, and I appreciate
that. They weren't attacking him. I don't want to put it like that. And it was a good interview. It really was.
But you didn't feel like they were giving him the props that he deserved, like
I
the
just
intro that he
just
deserved.
feel like I don't know like why you have a fucking old guy rap fucking thing when you're isn't the whole point like we're not acknowledging old rapper guys who are still making great music. I mean, he just put out that Perestroika album, which is fucking fire with Apathy. I mean, those guys just,
hip hop's kind of a weird fucking thing too, because when people get older, if not that OC was ever like a household name by any means, but great rapper, don't get me wrong, but like if you're not like selling millions of copies of records, people think you're washed up. Totally. It's like, and that's just like not the truth at all. I mean, people fucking.
Meanwhile, you got like 30 girlfriends in Europe.
Yeah. Well, they also.
Wait, right. Meanwhile, you're a Buddha monk, and all you got are bitches in Europe.
Well, these dudes like tour the fucking world. Like they get paid to make music. It's like maybe they're not on fucking MTV, but no one's on fucking MTV.
Can we pause for 1 second while we're on the OC topic? Because I'm never going to get to say anything about OC again on any podcast ever. No, but OC, Star Child. The greatest unreleased album, worst cover.
What is that? It's like an illustrated kid with a backpack on.
Pacific
very strange. Shirt. That comes up every time somebody's doing worst album covers. Somebody always throws Star Child.
Yeah.
And you know what else goes on there?
It's Cameron fucking.
Confessions of Fire?
No, that cover is fire.
The album's a good album. But the cover with the leather overalls and the sledgehammer.
It is sexy.
Imagine someone being like, okay, I'm going to put you in leather overalls and we're going to put you in these gloves.
It is too much.
And then you're going to hold this fucking hammer. And it's like, what?
You know what's another thing now?
Is he a drug dealer?
We're so old now that there are albums that I know for a fact because I was around and I either liked them or didn't, but I knew of them. I probably reviewed them that nobody gave a damn about. People's third and fourth albums and stuff. And now that it's like 15, 20 years.
Oh, now like, that
now
classic.
They put it out and like 1 million likes and like, and by the way, this brings up somebody asked me about this the other day. Because I always it's the most annoying question ever is like, what did I think of the fucking Wu Tang Martin Shkreli thing? And my first response is always, have you listened to Uncontrolled Substance? There's 150 Wu Tang out. You like Wu Tang so much? Come to my house. I'll load you up. You'll be leaving with with 60-second Assassin solo mixtape. and honestly,
Bronze Nazareth albums, which are good. Which are really
that guy
good.
Doesn't put out a song that's not perfect. I mean. But anyway, my point is like, fuck, everybody's such a piece of shit. Like nobody really cares. Wu Tang. They know 3 songs, and that's fine.
Why do people ask you about Wu Tang?
Because I've written liner notes for I think like 7 albums at this point.
and you got a tattoo, Wu Tang tattoo.
And what 7 albums are those?
All right. Well, the first one, and so by the way, what happened?
The
short of it is
just quick flex on
the short. What's the long and the short?
Just quick
short of it on hip hop, and this is like as Brian Coleman, one of my mentors, puts it, and he's of course the author of Check the Technique. He started doing this thing basically because hip hop was disposable. They would just put it album out. Remember Rock Records had all the lyrics. It could be the shittiest rock band, all the lyrics and pictures of their friends. And hip hop was like all your early great LPs are literally like a single sleeve. There's no information. It's the cheapest shit ever. It was just like punk, considered disposable. It's why it's worth money now, right? Now, because there were no liner notes, years later, people started doing liner notes. Some as authors, like Brian Coleman, and then when 15 and 20th anniversary started rolling around, company, Get On Down, with formerly known as Traffic. You worked there ever?
No.
But you know, basically,
love those guys.
Yeah, these like big boutique imprints out of Boston that have been a major part of hip hop.
I know it's become the hub for reissues.
For years, but even before that, you know, you could do a million episodes, of course, about land speed and everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that now, but basically, there's a lot that's happened here, and that is why they've had relationships with all these great artists, Wu Tang included, other people whose faces are on this wall. So what? And listen, it's a
They
humble.
just put out the Cypress
It's a
Hill,
humble brag. I just did one with Cypress Hill, but with Wu Tang, I think the first one we did with Old Dirty Bastard's Family, and you know when you look at the old ones,
Was that the one with the license plate that you got with it?
No, it had a license.
Okay.
A license.
Sorry,
It came in
the
the wallet.
license, the
The
license.
wallet and the CDs were in the wallet. Crazy. One of the great Wu Tang collectibles.
You're talking about the ODB. I'm sitting in his house, right in his basement, and we're talking about shit. I'm like, dude, like the Wu Tang, the ODB wallet. He's like, oh, it's right behind your fucking head. And like, yeah.
I
I'm
did
like,
the book for that.
and then I mentioned a fucking Machiavelli mixtape. He's like, oh yeah, that's right there
I got
too.
all of those.
Fucking sit
But
right
dude,
there.
The old Tupac?
I got all those bootlegs, all the Machiavelli
Dude,
bootlegs.
his fucking house is like a museum. It's like a museum.
We need to do an episode over there.
Yeah, anytime.
One of these times. Also, driving here, maybe it was earlier today. I'm like driving to the gym or something, and Tupac came on, like I was gonna say, be a father to your child. NOG, keep your head up. And I started thinking, what the fuck does Farone think of Tupac? I could see him
amazing.
hating on Tupac.
I could totally see why anyone could see that because it's one way or the other, and that's how everybody is with Tupac. But honestly, I have a cop out when it comes to Tupac, but I really do mean it. He's just above hip hop. I mean, when you listen to "Are You Still Down" discs, particularly disc 2, I think is the better one. He basically recorded that shit in like a fucking day with his brother-in-law.
Yep.
I mean, nobody will ever touch Tupac.
Machiavelli,
He
seven-
is a
7 day
completely
theory.
different level. The way he raps has nothing to do with the way anybody ever rapped or ever will rap. It's a different thing.
He also
it's a
made,
different
like-
thing. He's not even an MC. He is above all of it. He is the
Right.
best.
He made like 4 movies in that same fucking
great actor.
time frame. Like in that same, those like
Juice,
all those
there was
albums,
Juice,
and
Gridlock.
all those movies
love
came
that.
out in like 4 years. When you think about that shit, all that shit came out in like 4
It's a good
fucking
thing.
years.
It's crazy.
It's like 7
Like
albums
he was
and 4
26
movies.
when he died.
Yeah, like
Right
all
before
that
the poster.
shit. Like,
He didn't even make it to the poster.
You know the Chris Rock joke where he's like, you know, everyone likes to say like that Tupac would be like a senator now or something. He goes, you never know though. He might be the dark-skinned brother in the Tyler Perry movie throwing a light-skinned girl down a flight of stairs.
That's awesome.
You know, it's like, and it's true because you don't want to think like, you know, listen, Tupac's career was what it was, and he passed, and it's like there's no reason to think anything of, you know, what he would have been or whatever. Just this amazing body of music, again, like Wu Tang, that not everyone has even heard all of this stuff. So it's like, you know, if you would put a new, if someone was like, there's 5 new Tupac songs, people would like, oh my god, but have you heard all the Tupac songs that are already out? Probably not.
And while I'm wearing the Inspector Deck shirt, we gotta talk about that fucking verse. What was the one they just released recently? And it was on Ambitions as a Rider or what?
Isn't expected. I don't know.
Wait, you didn't hear that Inspector?
It's legit though. It was
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was on it. Yeah, he was on it.
Was it recorded during the boot camp sessions?
No, it was Daz, Corrupt, Lady of Rage. It was a Dog Pound song. And Inspector Deck, Redman, and Method Man. Then Pac came. He had to take one of it off. They took Deck off. That's
Oh,
why,
really?
That's
It's
why.
so good.
At
It's
the
like
end, it
the
goes,
best
"I and that's
Deck
the
verse
rebel." That's
I've
why it
ever
says
heard.
that shit. Like that's why he was on
And
it.
they left that on.
When it goes,
He's-
"I and that's the rebel." That's
Oh,
what-
really?
His
Yeah,
ad lib
yeah.
is still there.
Yeah.
But
You
you,
know what I'm
have to
talking
hear
about?
this song.
You know
What
I'm
song?
My mind made up. Off the first disc
Got
off.
my mind made
Of
up.
what's-
in this song.
what album?
Get it,
All Eyes on
get
Me, disc
into
1,
it.
track 5, I
Let it
think.
ride.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of
It's the one
that
with Method Man and Redman on it. Dude,
Yeah,
that album's
it's
amazing.
super commercial. I don't
When you
really
hear
like it a
this,
lot.
That album's
I'll go back and
amazing.
listen.
Okay.
Oh, but and here's I got to say this. I can't say this without respond without saying this. By the way, he died on my birthday. Before that day, I was as stubborn. Like now, I've heard one Drake song by accident ever.
Yeah.
Maybe more,
Sorry.
but not on purpose.
Yeah.
It was dope though. Actually, I didn't know it was Drake. That's how I'll admit it. It was like a anyway. But
was a
I
Was
had
it
never.
Wu-Tang Forever?
No,
That's one
I
of
had
the
never
songs.
intentionally heard a fucking. I hated Tube. I thought like as if I was like in Biggie's crew or something. I was totally bought
yeah,
into
okay,
it.
like,
I was not.
That's the
having
Chris
it.
I know.
I didn't listen to any West Coast hip. Not a fucking word. I didn't want to hear it. I threw them all out.
Yeah.
Everything.
Penthouse Players?
That's what I was gonna.
All that bullshit.
I wanna
dude.
ask a
and,
cri-
you know, of course, I hate Southern hip
a
hop.
crazy question like this. So okay, so have you gotten to the point
for
yet?
Outkast.
There used to be a time
love
like
and
where-
Goody Mob.
well, everybody
Just
in like
CeeLo.
this room, like, are you guys like? there used to be a time where it was all lyrics. Like it had to be the best fucking lyrics. And eventually the technical lyrics got so good they got like perfect, right? So now we're at a point where we kind of like fall back and you kind of can appreciate like
little nuance.
someone from like for them not being the best lyricist, but like you know what I mean? Like, are you at that point yet where you can kind of go back on old shit that you kind of maybe didn't like when you were younger because it wasn't like technically perfect?
I mean, sometimes I do certain things, and usually you're disappointed. But like to go back and listen, to, like I just listened to like Nature's whole album. It's fucking great.
I'm guilty of never having listened to that album.
The
even
first
when
one?
The first one, yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
I don't think I ever heard it.
It's a class act.
They didn't have it on Columbia House.
And it's, I'll tell you, all those guys, like, and then the Wild Gremlin. After that, the way people like went flying off the rails really shows like all these big production companies that we really hate and these big labels and stuff. Without whatever the fuck was going on behind the scenes, a lot of careers just would fall apart. And you know, there was no kind of semblance. The beats weren't really there.
Wait, what are we talking about? Indie albums versus on label?
In my head, I'm just going back to this guy. Fucking had the nerve to be like, yeah, people like talk about Tupac. I never heard the songs, and we're talking about Mind Made Up, which is like a fucking super famous Tupac song. He's like, yeah, I never
but
heard that.
I'm not going
Never
out there.
heard it.
I'm
Right,
not clamoring
right,
for.
right.
I'm not clamoring for new Tupac music.
And
though.
This isn't new Tupac music.
No,
this
this is Tupac,
is.
yeah.
No, I'm saying I'm not like
I
out
know.
there saying. And my point, and here's the thing: I always like the rougher Tupac stuff. I know, like that's why I have all the mixtapes. That's why I love. Are You Still Down? I don't really like the.
Wait,
I hate Dr.
what?
Dre. So like,
What the fuck
Okay,
is
hold
wrong
on.
with you?
Why do you hate Dr. Dre?
because it's way too for the reason everybody loves him. So it's almost like a
much
backhanded
Roger
compliment.
Troutman?
No, it's too perfect. Like the way when you hear sound engineers being like, this is the perfect fucking album ever. I hate that. I like unmastered shit. I really don't like that.
I like my Nirvana.
I don't like the way
Nevermind.
he handles artists. I think some of Eminem's worst fucking music is done with Dr. Dre. I hate it.
Isn't like all Eminem's music?
Pop a bottle.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not
Don't
at
act
all.
like
I
a
love
sloppy
Crack
model.
a Bottle.
I just wanna...
Crack a Bottle, produced by what's the name? Who was that? Who was here
like it?
who was here at Berkeley when he produced that track? Actually, I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
That's not too like poppy for you, that fucking song.
He says some not so poppy shit in that.
Yeah,
fucking
but
song.
just like it's just
Crack
I
a
don't know.
Bottle.
I can't get like out of that fucking mind frame.
I don't know. I can't. The Eminem stuff that I hate is if he's talking about himself or his family, I don't want to hear it. That's basically my.
What
thing.
about the new Eminem song? Did you fucking hear that shit when he just
the last Eminem?
Yeah,
I heard he
music
dissed
to be
Melly
murdered
Mel.
by. Oh yeah.
No.
The music to be murdered. So he killed
That shit was
Lord,
hot.
that Lord Jamar diss. Wow.
Yo, absolutely.
How could you diss someone without? It was the best, most classiest diss ever. He's like,
He dissed them again. Like,
And
on
Young
the
Ma
new-
has never been in a track as hot.
Have you heard the new
first song.
Who's the guy they just signed?
y'all are
on Shady
just
Records?
suns in my
The
eyes.
devil guy. It's like a white dude that does devil signs and shit. Like Easel or some shit. Like I don't even
Oh,
know.
his new artist.
His new artist.
Oh, he has an
There's a track.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a new track out with that guy and Eminem on it. M has like a 3-minute verse
I
at
know
the
he
end of it.
disses like
Lord-
Melly Mel.
Melly
right?
Mel in it. This is
Says
the
that
game.
Melly Mel's on steroids.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Fucking. He talks about
Little
Generation
balls.
X shooting up schools and shit like that. He's like, Generation X can't talk about hip hop. Like kind of like you were saying, they don't know anything.
Have
like,
either of
they-
you guys ever tried steroids?
No, but I used to sell them.
Did you?
Yeah,
you were a
Prima Bowling.
steroid dealer.
Yeah, I mean, it was easy. All my friends,
Hang
all
out
my
at the gyms,
well,
hang out at the locker rooms.
I went to like
get a wet towel.
I was a scholarship
Get a
kid
little
at
whip.
private school, so all my guinea friends, all my
Hanky
meathead friends from Long Island were doing juice, and all the jocks wanted it. It was the easiest thing ever. They would buy them like a little $50, sold for 100.
This fucking dude.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking steroid.
Do you have any ketamine? If I could get some.
Same vial.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I haven't seen that shit in years, but
Really?
I remember making it in the microwave. That's so
Ketamine's
gross.
around.
I remember.
Having to get that thing open without a needle. You ever have to do that?
No,
Oh God.
with me, I don't do
like-
drugs. What are you
there's like a-
talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
either.
There's like a thing
Thing
that you
open
would
with
stick
a
a
needle.
syringe
I
into.
know what you're talking about.
to have to get
I've
that
never-
little metal thing off.
Yeah, but I've never been in.
Hey,
my
I got it. Statute of limitations. I mean, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like
no, it's
when I'm a
fine.
kid.
When
Not
you were a
all
kid-
of us OGs went so deep into the ketamine game as you,
Well,
my friend.
well,
well,
it's
this
one of the
dude,
great drugs,
This
man.
dude right here, we're all
Hanging
steroid
out at
dealers.
veterinarian clinics.
Steroid dealers, you know.
Oh, well, look at that, dude. Thanks for the another joint.
So,
right
so
there.
you like Eminem?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Here's the thing. Like, there's
Eminem's
always
the best rapper.
there's always that thing. I'm so sick of that. There's always this thing.
He's the great white hope.
Yeah, there's always this
From
thing
Michigan.
with Eminem. Like when we're talking about best rap, like with Jay-Z versus Nas, right? The Nas fans, well, now it's not so easy for them, but it would always point to how many bad albums Jay had, right?
Yeah.
And if we're talking that, I mean, Eminem's got albums that are so bad, not one so like the,
Yeah, his
the
first
Eminem
album,
show,
Infinite.
Eminem shows amazing.
Eminem show. Oh, stop it! I can't listen to
The
one song on
Eminem
that
show
fucking
is.
album.
I had to throw it out the
It's
window.
the worst. It's like Snoop World, man.
I haven't gone
Wait,
back.
no.
It's like that fucking
Wait.
what?
The Eminem show. Encore was the terrible one.
Encore's the terrible one.
No, they're
Encore was
yeah.
the
Eminem
one with the
show was
the one with the
amazing.
curtain on it.
Amazing.
Ah.
Yeah, that was great.
I was
Yeah,
gone.
the
with
third
the
album?
Cannabis
I was
Biz?
gone with
Yeah,
that.
That whole album.
The third album was great.
I was gone.
You
with that.
what?
I was listening to See True Hollywood Stories.
No, fuck. Oh, I get the.
I bought that
That's a
fucking album.
Cannabis album, by the way.
I bought that
Get
album.
the fuck out of here. How do you
fucking-
not like that album?
I
One,
bought that
That's
album.
when he started getting
Somebody
very
listen to See True
autobiographical.
Hollywood.
He's
I
fucking
bought
whining
that. I
that
bought
whole
See
album.
True Hollywood Stories.
You
That one
had
I threw
it?
out the fucking
I still
window.
have it.
Oh my god, that fucking was a
It's
a
probably-
bad
I don't-
album.
what-
There is a Stan rebuttal.
I only own
hold
one
on,
Cannabis
hold on.
album.
There's
The
a
Stoop
there was a Stan
produced one.
rebuttal where he's Stan.
It's
And
still-
he's rapping like he's writing the letters back to
Oh,
fucking.
God. I need to hear that.
I'm dead serious.
Oh, dude,
I'm
it's-
I don't
dead
think I've
serious.
ever actually listened to
Benzino
that
level
album. I
shit,
just
dude.
know the cover, and that's it.
Yeah, I bought that. With my hard-earned money.
You know what, though? I got some respect. Because you love cannabis
It's
so
the
much.
worst.
did.
It's the worst cannabis album.
It doesn't matter if it's Cannabis the rapper, Cannabis
Besides that, when 1000 BC,
Yeah, Rip the
they're
Jacket.
all the worst
No,
cannabis
dude,
albums.
Rip the Jacket. He's got,
No,
you
Rip
gotta-
the Jack.
you
Rip the
gotta
Jack
Scoop
is the
album.
only
Cannabis
album
album
I
is
know
amazing.
of his.
It's amazing.
That album is fire.
You have to.
No,
You're a complete
1000
Jedi Mind Tricks
10,000
collection.
BC or whatever the fuck
I mean,
it
I
was.
do have
That
a little
one.
baby, just a
Yeah.
tiny JMT collection, whatever.
Fucking Jedi Mind
Rose.
Tricks. Fucking
Nothing wrong with that. Box
Buckingham
cut of
Palace.
Pazzi.
Oh, I should have brought you my shirt.
Pazienta.
I got a shirt. I'm making a shirt of Vinny Paz as a pharmacist because he's like one step above you, like a pharmacist.
Oh, that's
That
nice.
real nerdy
Yeah,
insider
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It's kind of like you're in
Stuff that won't sell,
you're in
but
playing.
we love it.
I'm not trying to sell it, just for
Oh,
me.
okay, okay.
I'm trying to
Just-
get. I'm not
oh,
trying
you're
to
making shirts just for you?
Yeah.
Is that what that shirt is?
Yeah, every shirt I wear.
Yeah.
is
Wait,
just-
so you,
He
where'd
has
you get this
He has
printed
a
up?
Goonies coat. Like, he goes, oh, you
You
have a
two, fashion designers. No, you are. Has he showed you his shit from The Wire?
Dude, his shit is dope,
fucking,
man.
His fucking,
But it's always in the clock. I'm never allowed to see it for too long.
What's the one with the
It's
buck-
always like
No, I know. If my
it
phone
goes
comes
back
out-
in- oh, forget it, dude. I know he's got the like leather. I won't even tell us hate on the air. He'd probably like have a trap door come and fucking put me into the first floor.
This is the only shit that Chris would edit out.
I got a big plan. No, Saab's coming in. He's gonna come into the show. We're gonna do the whole thing. You got another pair of shoes for me?
You have a leather Omar with
Chris,
buckshot
Chris,
as the buttons.
pass me that
Come
shit
on.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you what he did?
Yes,
So we
please.
go to the opening of Slane's. We go to the opening. I don't know where you thought we were going to a hip hop show.
No, fuck
And-
this dude. Fuck. Oh shit. No. Fuck this. Fuck what he's about to say right now because he's lying.
I'm not lying.
Yes, he is. I know what he's gonna say. And he's fucking lying.
It wasn't a big
No.
deal.
We go to Slane's opening of Slane's rehab, right? Right.
They let you near that place?
No.
Jesus.
So he's like, yeah, let's go to Slane's like fucking rehab and shit. I'm like, okay, we'll go do that. I'm like, we can just dress out. He's like, yeah, we can wear whatever. I go there. I'm wearing like this.
No, I didn't care about what you bit the T-shirt. You were
Was
wearing
it a
one of
pot
your-
shirt?
He was wearing the
You wearing a
couch shirt.
cannabis shirt?
Oh, the coat shirt. Yeah, the coat shirt.
got,
No,
like,
time out. Yeah,
pothead
Money.
No. Okay, but we pull up to this rehab, right? And I'm dressed like this.
Yeah.
He got a
Look
fucking.
at which mind you how he is dressed right now.
No.
He might as well be in like a velour jumpsuit
never seen
from
him dressed any other way. What
from
would you have
Macy's.
worn?
No. So he's wearing like a polo, like rugby and shit. He like looks so halfway presentable. We walk up, everyone's like in dress up, like everyone's dressed up. I'm the only fucking person. There's like 100 people there. I'm the only person there in sweatpants.
What's the alternative? What
I
else do you
clearly
have?
they're
Looking
all
like a junkie.
They're all looking at
Who done
me.
lost his
They're all
mind.
looking at me like I am someone who has been in this fucking rehab. No, that's how they all. And I'm he's like, can you film for me? So I'm holding the fucking phone up, filming this fucking thing, and everyone's just like staring at me as I'm in my fucking sweatpants, and they're all in like fucking shirts.
They
and
thought you
ties
were the
and shit.
first patient to check in.
That's
Was this
exactly-
at the opening?
Yes.
They thought you were the
grand
first
opening.
patient?
Yes. No. The fucking Fox 25 News was there, dude.
But you did you
The mayor gave a
B-roll.
speech.
and here,
Props to Slane. Props to Slane on that. All that. by the way.
Like, bro, I'm the
Absolutely.
only one. Everyone's like dressed up. Nice.
By the way,
Yep.
I had to throw some love for Slane.
Looking-
Somebody did that.
Yeah.
You know, who's the best rapper turned
It was
actor, and I had to throw that Slane out there.
He's up there,
little
but-
love. No, I know. But
We were
yeah,
ju- we were
it was-
just-
It's always the worst answers people get.
Pac's up there.
but
Pac
we
up
were
there.
just
That's a good
talking about Slane because he has my copy of the Gory Days DVD from back in his drug
I'm
days.
sure he has it right there on his in his living room. You know.
You think so? You think he watches that every night?
No, dude. I guarantee. I know if depending on when you gave it to him, I bet that
I did
thing
not-
ended up in the basement
no.
on Boynton Street in
First of
Jamaica
all,
Plain.
I did not give him that. It was Van. Let me borrow this when he's over at my place and we're snorting a bunch of coke at like 5 a.m. before I got to go into undergroundhiphop.com to work an 8-hour shift,
Oh, dude.
like a 6-hour shift, but they felt like 8, you know. But I'm saying like, I need that back. We got to get Slane in here just so I can sit him down. really have a heart-to-heart about it.
I'm all for it.
Because DVDs are worth something these days. You can't just go to a Blockbuster. You can't. There's nowhere to go to get a DVD. When they had Wild Style the other day and they had the director, I was like, shit, I need a copy of the movie I've never seen.
And?
So I could get it signed like a super fan.
Okay.
Right?
But you never saw it.
But I never saw it. The whole time we had it at UGG, and I never watched the movie.
You copped to it. I know.
So
you
he's not
and
a
Quest
super
never
fan.
seen it.
He's a super fan.
I mentioned that to I mentioned that
I'm a
to
super fan.
Brian Coleman because he was there at the Wild Style show.
Oh, you don't say.
And he was like, "You should keep that to yourself." And he said it like not even like in a joking tone.
Charlie
like,
Ahern was there, right?
Was that? Yeah, he was there.
He
Yeah.
was gonna lead with it. Hey, I've never seen your movie before, but can you?
I know. Yeah,
I'm
could
a
you
super
sign this
fan.
for me?
That's how much I respect you. I haven't even seen your movie.
No,
and I
but-
want you to sign
but-
it.
Never.
But we did watch it there, and I loved it.
I want to know what you two think about hip hop at 50.
Oh,
Man,
Fucking kill me now.
I
dude.
got a fucking nut that I've been storing up all week for that face. Dude, I'm serious.
I know, I figured.
Let's talk about Planet Asia and why aren't more people mentioning him when they mention the Hip Hop 50? That's what Farone really wants to know. Why is Planet Asia
Props
not
to
being
Planet
mentioned more?
Asia.
What did we say earlier?
You know, some of the underground rappers are a little disappointed with the.
Can we play? What song would you pick if you had to introduce someone such as myself to a reason that they shouldn't hate on Planet Asia for just being like garbly
A
goop?
new one or an
goop?
old one?
I don't care. He's so bad that I'm going to let you
He's
pick
so
from his
bad.
entire
He's the best
discography.
rapper.
this is such like
Crazy,
a
dude.
specific question.
I know.
I like Deep in the Casket, which is off the Anchovies album with Apollo Brown.
Oh, that's Apollo Brown's album, though.
He's on every track.
Oh, is it both of them?
He's on every track, and now they have a set. Now they have that was
But,
the
but does
second.
it say them both on the cover?
No, it's just a picture of a fish, like the Heathcliff fish. I mean, I get it. I know what's going on here. He can't diss Apollo Brown because he's from Detroit.
It's not just that.
What else? It's a dope album, dude. You listen to that album, you will love it. I promise you. I'm like, what's his
Is
name?
it as good as the Ugly Heroes album?
If we fuck, I think you would love it. Kids.
Why you like looking?
never seen
Why did you look at me why did you like look right at me when you said that? You looked like right at me and you said that shit. You like
There's something going on here.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck.
I thought Big
Really?
Dookie Chain was about the two of us, not the two of you two.
I don't know what the fuck just happened.
I was trying to tell you new kids, man. You know.
Like let's take that question like to a broader like level now. Let's suppose you wanted to introduce someone to hip hop. What's the most hip what's
The most
I thought we were
hippity-hoppity
going
song?
to talk about broads.
the most hip hop song? Like,
He said a broader level.
You too. Like fucking
it
like
depends on who.
people. No. But if you had to pick one over the top, right?
One
you had to pick one
artist or
no,
song?
one song.
Just put it
One
in your
song.
mouth
And
by Akinyele.
Who is this person that's never heard? What is the Encino Man fucking shows up in my
I don't
door? This is
know,
a crazy
man.
question.
We're having a fucking hypothetical. like
this is a kid who like.
Oh, like okay, so
shitty hip hop.
Okay, so top 50 groups, top 50 MCs, all that shit they're doing. Top 50 songs.
All hotties
what's
eat
the number
the
one
jizz
song?
by Necro.
What's Jesus?
I sent that to a girl
I do.
recently.
I gotta say,
'cause I was
when you do play Necro or even Jedi Matrix for someone, there's this look on their face. This thing happens where they didn't realize there's this world that exists. Like there's like you see their gears. Like there's music that. What? I didn't even. It's so funny, man.
You and Danielle ever play Necro during sex?
Jesus.
Cut that
No,
out.
no. Oh, come on.
Dude.
I thought this was a safe space.
There's no Necro permitted at my fucking house. Dude.
Okay,
I once
I got a kid.
I showed this girl Human Trafficking 2. She ran out of my apartment crying.
That is some of the most
She was a
ridiculous
feminist.
stuff ever. You know what's a? I mean, I could talk about Necro forever, man.
It's
One of the most absurd. I mean, it's one.
Tell you
I'm a
talked
huge
about
fan.
Necro
I probably
in all caps, calling Quest a little slimy worm
Dude,
that he's gonna crush.
every year that Spotify, like, here's what you listen to the most comes out, like, he crushes everybody, dude.
Is he all over your Spotify in 2023, Necro?
I listen to Necro every day.
You're such a
I listen to
even keel, amicable dude.
I
considering.
listen to. Well, it's like
Because you get all the anger out on
Yeah.
your drive over here.
Well, I'm not like fucking. I'm not like
Dead
rapping
body disposal.
like
Yeah.
that. Well, it's something. Listen, sometimes you get that person next to you. You got to roll the window down. They have to hear it for the first time.
Did I tell you that I went to one of the last times I saw Necro? We went to film for him at a strip club in Queens.
Oh my god!
For him and
What,
Hyde.
Naked City. You filmed one at a strip club in Queens with him and Hyde.
Yeah, me and I brought my buddy Andy.
Did the Billie Jean remix there?
It was so. There's so many like titties
I don't know what the fuck you're
that I
talking
couldn't
about.
focus on what Necro had played. I honestly, but and the fact that they were allowing us all access to film in a strip club, I was like, what? This would never happen at the Glass
I grew up
Slipper
in those
or
clubs, dude.
Centerfold.
That is a brutal scene over there. Naked City, all those clubs, man.
Oh, and we interviewed Necro outside, and the owner of the club. This was around the Harvey Weinstein thing, and Necro's.
Was it like last year?
Necro's defending Harvey Weinstein.
Oh my god.
And the guy, and he's like, don't you agree to the guy who owns the club? The guy's like, oh, well, actually, I kind of have a different stance than you on that one, Necro, but I'm a huge fan of yours. Always have been. It was fucking amazing.
That's the mayor.
He was, Necro is in full support.
I used to go to probation down the street from those strip clubs.
For what? What'd you get?
Caught making fake IDs.
How old were you?
I was still a YO in New York. I was 18. You're 19 as an adult.
You were a young, would you say you were more of a rotten rascal, ill-town
I had a good heart, but I was always
or the
scheming. I was a bad
youngsters?
kid. Oh,
How the fuck did you get into making fake IDs? That's
Well,
like
yeah.
a very specific fucking...
I'm neurotic, so I still do like arts and crafts, like making shit like this and stuff, and that's just basically. I had early laptops. I had laptops before
So
anybody.
I know plenty of people that are in
This
arts
is
and
before
crafts,
9/11,
dude.
by the way.
Yeah, I know
I'm old.
plenty...
I would hope so.
Caveat. Fucking,
I don't want to have to visit
but
you
I know
in jail.
plenty of people that are in arts and crafts that didn't pick up, like...
My whole life was
Like
basically
McLovin.
living middle class in Queens and going to wealthy schools and just always looking for shit to sell these kids.
Why did you come to Boston?
To go to BU for journalism school.
Yeah,
So-
you came here in 2001, the same year I moved from Michigan to here.
No.
To Massachusetts.
No.
Okay.
Do you
No,
know
I
that he...
came here the
Set me
week of the-
straight.
Do you know why he
moved
went
here
to
the
Emerson?
week of the Democratic National Convention, 2004.
Do you know why he
Oh,
went
I
to...
thought you said.
This dude right here
No,
didn't know...
2001. I just graduated college.
Didn't go...
New York for 3 years.
Do you know why he went to Emerson? It wasn't to be on the radio.
What were you gonna do? Ballet or something?
You just told the whole fucking story last time.
Well, now I got to remember the story I
was
told on
listening
here.
to that.
No, why did I go to Emerson? I went to Emerson because it was.
You were talking about the audition.
Yeah, like he. Like,
Nonstop hip hop to make the ladies' panties
Yeah.
drop.
No, but I was like,
Still
Yeah.
I'm like, were you trying to be like in communications and stuff? He's like, no. Like you didn't even know they had a radio station.
I didn't know they had a radio station.
Why do you pick people
Yeah,
like seek that school
that's-
out from like
that's-
Asia?
that's
I went
what I'm
there
saying,
for
okay.
writing, literature, and publishing. I
That's
could have gone to
it.
New York, Syracuse.
That's what I'm saying. So like
Publishing.
he had no idea they had a radio station.
When
He
I
had no
started
idea.
at undergroundhiphop.com, I took over for DJ Food Stamp, the news section, so I was writing for them as an intern from Emerson College.
DJ Food Stamp's so old school now. Like, he was gone by the time like everybody got there.
And he's got a hot wife, huh? People
I
shouldn't
never
be
knew
mad
Food Stamp,
about
'cause
that.
he never lived
That's
in
something that
he never
people
lived
should
in
never
Mass,
be
did he?
mad
He
about.
never his mixtapes.
It's
were
like the
amazing.
way
think
you
he
say
did.
it though. It's like the way you say like you don't say like, oh, you got a hot what, like it's like, you know what I mean? You say it like a certain way. You do. It's like a slap to it.
I do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Little slap on that ass.
that's the
Kicking
one.
it with some fly gangster shit.
That's the one.
Damn. An old bag of collard
Do you know,
greens.
do you
Did
know
you
the
like-
whole thing about? Oh, go ahead.
Did you like Doggy Style? You said you didn't listen to fucking like
No, of
West
course.
Coast.
I mean, listen, I'm not
You
gonna
think
sit
listen-
here and tell you I didn't. I was a fucking kid.
You
I
said you didn't
we
listen to
lived-
fucking West Coast hip hop.
Dude, that was different, dude. Doggy Style was like
So did you listen to, like,
everybody's
Pop This
life.
Most
But I
Wine?
got to be honest with you. I still even then like
Plus, they had a remix of
I
Lottie Dottie and
liked a
Slick
lot of
Rick
that
is
stuff,
remix.
but the truth is, I did not like the music on that. I it was kind of corny to me. I worked at my school's radio station. I knew what Parliament was, and I just always thought that shit was so corny. That heavy sampling.
You didn't love the show soundtrack?
So you didn't like G Funk?
I do love
You-
the show.
you-
It's
so
an everyday thing when
I-
you
Yeah,
lose
when
the
I'm
nuts
with the
hang.
nuts hang.
Is Chris
is
Funk,
that?
is Chris
Bone
Funk taking
Thugs.
an anti G Funk stance right now? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's not my favorite kind of music. I have love for some stuff.
But-
I love like
So-
the Shack,
but-
the
but
Dub
rhythm
Shack.
is
Oh, yeah.
This is the
Ah,
Shack.
Dub
this is
Shack,
how
yeah.
we
This is-
act.
yeah.
That's my-
Remember the twins? Remember
Yo,
the
do I
twins?
remember?
The twins.
Yeah, they're hanging out
They
with
were
Melky.
part of the
They're
Dub Shack.
hanging out with Melky
No, they
Sadek.
weren't. No, they weren't.
Yes.
They were a whole different
They're
fucking
the
group.
West Coast Melky Sadek.
Twins got the groove that goes round and round, round and round, round and round. That was their fucking.
There were
Yep.
so many groups that were
What did
household
you-
names that never ended up putting out like even a single.
What did you think about Warren G saying on Regulators, it was a clear dark night, a clear white moon?
Why not? What's wrong with that?
I don't know. Just like, no thoughts about
Biggest
that?
selling single of all time. Nothing
they-
will ever beat it.
No way.
And did you know that single came out of the closet?
That's not true.
They recorded
No, it's
it
true.
in the
Nothing
closet.
could ever possibly. It was at the intersection where people bought it on
You
3
telling me
formats. What?
Regulators is the number one.
I
selling
wrote
single
about.
of
I
all-
had to fact check
Yeah,
this
but
before.
there's no way. There's no fucking
That's crazy.
way.
Dude,
There's
of course
no,
there's. People don't put out hards anymore.
He's
There's
looking
no-
at it right now. There's no way
it
that's
up.
the fucking thing.
Look it up.
Yeah, there's no fucking way. Right? Come on, dude. Like fucking the Fugees didn't fucking beat that shit.
Look
like
it
Killing
up.
Me Softly and shit. Eminem hasn't beaten that yet. Yeah.
Are you looking it up? And how we going?
What do
you think?
What was I wrong about
Who's
in the
betting
last
up with
show
me?
when I was like?
That you said that someone had the most selling album, but it was
Yeah.
Eminem. It was Eminem had the most. No, but yeah.
I was saying Eminem, wasn't I?
No.
The top selling album of all time.
You were saying it was
hip-hop?
Millennium.
Wait.
Oh, Millennium.
It was not. It was. It was.
Will Smith don't got to cuss in his rap.
Is Miami on Millennium?
Records,
It was
but
the
I
one.
do.
It was the one he hates. It was the Slim Shady LP. That
But
was
I-
the fucking,
Miami's on there, yes.
I love this Slim Shady. What are you
No,
talking about?
the Marshall Mathers LP.
I swear I started listening.
Eminem Show. That was.
The Eminem Show is the one he hates.
That's the one
Eminem
he-
Show is an amazing album.
It is an amazing album. Fucking.
That's just a weird thing to hate
It's
on.
all his problems.
Some people hate on Relapse,
like a-
also a
it's
great
like a-
album.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. So like
Go to
back
fuck-
to that, like what, like not like a Necro song, obviously, but not even like.
No, I'm not playing Negro for like a new person.
No, not even a new person.
Yeah.
But
No,
what
no.
I mean, like, if it was like the top 50, so like what it was between Outkast and Wu Tang. Wu Tang is probably the top group all the time. Let's be serious about it.
Yeah, but I don't think it would be the first thing you'd played for someone.
No, but I'm saying like in that list, like if we had a list of top 50 hip hop songs, like what's the greatest
songs?
What's the greatest hip hop song of all time?
It's just hard to say. Not say
if you had-
Juicy. I mean, Juicy.
It's Juicy,
is
right?
The
I mean,
greatest rap song of all
Triumph.
time. Triumph is not is a specific song. It's not for everybody.
I missed the bus. I missed the bus. Damn, that is something I will never, ever do
Chris Cross,
again.
baby.
I don't even.
I'm totally crossed out.
Yeah, Chris.
Totally
Okay,
crossed
yeah.
out.
How the fuck do you
Catching
remember
all
so
the
fast? I'm like,
ladies.
yeah.
That was my first concert of all time.
That might,
Far Side
that might be
opening
in the
for
top
Chris Cross.
15.
Your first concert.
Ready for this one? Biz Markie, Technotronic, and DJ Jazzy Jeff in the Fresh Prince of Westbury Music Fair. And Biz
bad.
Markie, till this day, when I sing Just a Friend, he tweaked two choruses. One, he said, "You got a disease," and the other one, he said, "You got a hair weave." And I was there as a kid, man. I still get the ticket.
That's crazy. How old were you then?
I've done them. I don't know. I'm probably I was with Brad Green from karate school.
Fucking
Brad Green.
Brad,
Yeah, I love that
yeah,
that fucking kid.
Yeah, fucking
right.
karate school.
Yeah, you know,
you know.
and Tumble Bunnies.
Yeah. was he in Tumble
10
Bunny?
or 11, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's
Did-
probably he's the DJ on the rapper tour.
So
Okay.
what's Brad doing now?
Who knows?
And were you ever in Tumble Bunnies as a kid? Did they
I don't
have
know,
that
what
in
is
Queens?
this Tumble? You keep saying they had it in Detroit. Doesn't sound like a very Detroit thing to me.
Tumble Bunnies?
Tumble Bunny.
No, listen,
Detroit,
I lived-
best known for its
No,
Tumble
I
Bunny.
lived in
It's
Connecticut
Eminem.
at that
Oh,
point.
okay.
Yeah, Tumble
That's-
Bunnies was CT.
Big Connecticut. I could totally see Tumble Bunny. What is it?
Who's the biggest rapper? from
Peace,
Connecticut?
Connecticut. Connecticut has never loved a
Peace,
line more in their
Connecticut, an
fucking
incarcerated
lives.
Scarface line, also an Apathy song.
I know what the incarcerated Scarface line is, but who's the biggest rapper from Connecticut?
Apathy, I guess. Right? Oh no,
Is Apathy?
no, it's no, not even close. It's what's his face? It's Mac Miller. No, nobody.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mac Miller's from Connecticut?
yeah.
I thought he was Pittsburgh.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. He did that Connecticut Casual album, right?
Yeah, the Blue Slide shit's like a Pittsburgh.
Oh.
fucking playground shit.
You're right. He is from Pittsburgh.
So who's the biggest out of Connecticut
I don't think
then?
they have one.
Blackistan, Apathy. That's just the demigods, I
Just
guess.
Apathy.
Oh no, Kwame.
No, Kwame's from fucking like.
I think he's from Connecticut. I
No,
think he's
he
from
was a
Hartford.
Herbie Hancock fucking guy. Kwame's fucking Herbie Hancock shit. That's like fucking.
Dude, I think pretty sure.
No,
yeah.
that's Queen shit. Because on Math Hoffa, they're always talking about Kwame's from Queens. That's what I guess.
What do you think about when
We're
Jizza
talking
came?
about Kwame.
I know, I'm stopping that real quick. We're gonna keep this conversation from getting out of.
So
it's
what-
already
what outfit
overboard.
What outfit did you think was the best?
What was I just thinking about?
Kwame's outfit.
I'm
maybe?
getting like secondhand high from all this fucking weed. I'm not gonna be able to do this interview. I'm gonna be high. When I need Narcan
What
or
interview?
something
Are we
to
gonna
get
be
rid of
doing
the
an
weed.
interview?
Oh, are we gonna be doing an interview sometime? I forgot.
He's like,
Are we gonna start
yeah,
this fucking
I
interview?
had to fucking tell him, like, dude, like, we're hanging with people we know. Well, it's just kind of a hang. It's not really like an interview. It's more like, yeah, but you know. But where were you on the night of February fucking 15th?
No, this is what I was thinking. If we're gonna interrogate you, it's gonna be with Pants Down, beginning of the Predator album by Ice Cube.
What about it?
Bend over and give me two good cops.
Ain't nobody talking when I'm talking, fellas. So
shut the fuck up.
All Bomb Squad.
Ooh, best skit. Best
Was
skit.
that all? I know America's Most Wanted
Right,
was,
I'm sorry,
but I
that
don't know
is-
about.
yeah, no, that's all
Yeah.
different. shit. Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing, guys. I mean,
Fellas.
I was not like a fucking.
talk about the West
I wasn't
Coast.
like a hip hop. Like I loved rap music, and I did. My friends made fun of me for reading the Source every month, but at the same time, your whole concept of hip hop is different. Then you don't like. I don't even know if when I first heard the Infamous, I knew it was two rappers, but it's not like I'm differentiating. That's Prodigy. That's
Right, right.
You're much simpler back then. You know
How
what I mean?
long did it take before you
Those
figured
were
out
the
like
days.
those three locks? It took like a while before you figured out.
That's a good question. I think the Locks, don't forget, the Locks, because they came out on Bad Boy, there was a lot of visual. Like, they were always putting them in your face, even though they're putting them in silly outfits and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
But you couldn't tell the
Shiny
difference of
suits.
them like on the record at first. I couldn't anyway.
well,
Took-
not
took-
between Styles and Chic,
took
but
me a
it
while.
was new Jadakiss came on. Not that I actually over the years have really come to really appreciate all three of them. So I was not a diss at all. But Jada's got a really distinct voice. I mean,
and Jada would always be put on those mixed CDs. Him versus Jay-Z, they do a back and forth. Oh man, they're like the printed out covers.
The best one was DMX versus Cannabis.
I have that.
Yep,
I have that.
I know you do.
That's a classic.
Oh yeah,
classic
and then
mixtape.
that had the
got the gravelly voices against each other.
At the end of it had the freestyle battle with Freeway and Cannabis.
Dude.
And when Freeway was like crying and shit, he's like, "Nah, man, put a beat on, man, put a beat on." Remember that shit? And fucking Cannabis was just fucking. He was eating them and shit.
There's that thing was that's like 150 songs on that. I remember the back of the bootleg version of that shit. The greatest Cannabis song, mixtape song of all time, though, is
Second Round Knockout.
No, mixtape songs definitely on Cluminati 1. Over 97 Mentality.
What does he say though? Like,
I battle you standing over the toilet with my dick out. I battle you juggling a hand grenade with the pin out in a stolen car with the VIN number ripped out.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
That shit is just crazy. I mean, it is so. It's really hard sometimes to tell why is an artist like a J. Rue. I love him and he's put out some good music over the years since. But it's just, I mean, this is a guy who put out like 2 perfect albums.
Yeah.
But what is it? Why can't is it him? Is it the production? Whatever. With Cannabis, it's unfathomable. This guy was just an absolute fucking machine. He started reading too much. Is all I could ever come up with.
Have you watched the
too much information in the IBM up there?
And then he embarrasses himself on that fucking. What was the battle?
That's years later.
He was on Matt Hoffa on their podcast talking about a bunch of shit. And he said he got all fucked up because he went at LL and he got blackballed.
Oh yeah.
And then from there, the Eminem shit, like I guess he was doing that video with the baby in it and shit when he was a sperm cell. Remember that Cameron said that sperm cell video? Yeah. So the baby I guess could only be on set for so long, and that was the same time Eminem showed up to the video shoot. So he was like kind of like gave him the cold shoulder, and M did his Slim Shady shit and started writing about him, and it was fucked up. I can't pull them all out because I don't remember all the examples he gave, but he started giving examples of like his lyrics that M was writing in his songs. So he's like, yo, like, this is like, he's talking to Matt. He's like, yo, that shit was about me. He's like, trailer park girls go around the other side. He's like, yo, that's in my song. And he's like, boom, 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 boom. I'm looking up, like, oh, shit. And he's like, this shit. He's like, when he's saying, he's like, he's talking to fucking me. And, like, people don't realize that M was so good at that shit.
Dude, M stole a line from Cage, that track with the Pete Nice album.
No, but he was stealing the lines from him to diss him.
Oh, I
and
get
nobody knew that he was, because no one knew the Cannabis
Doping
shit.
up to spit your lines and send it back at you.
That's what he was doing. He's like, so when he was, because Cannabis has a lyric that goes, I got 2 trailer park girls that go round the outside.
I get it.
And then Eminem starts that shit, and he's trying to tell people, and he's like,
and that's like on his biggest pop single too.
And no one's believing him, and he's like, no one in the podcast believes him. he's like, no, that shit's about me, and he had to pull the shit up, and he's like, look, and they're like, oh my god, like, and I had to pull it up and look, and I'm like, oh my god, like, and he pulled up a bunch of different examples. He's like, yo, this is my verse. He's like, this is my verse.
Yeah.
So what M was doing is M was going into like his B-list catalog, pulling out like the last bar of a track,
him?
and putting it at like the beginning of a pop song.
Oh my god,
and
dude!
Trolling the fuck out of him, and him not. He's like, that shit made me so mad. He's like fucking. He's like,
wow,
living
that's
it. Yeah,
brutal, dude.
And no one knew he was doing it except Cannabis.
Dude.
Yeah, because he fucking like it's.
If those albums have been a little better, even I could listen to it. But
it's crazy.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
Man. It got so bad.
If you took the top 20 Cannabis songs and put them on like a thing, you could still bump that.
Because they come in from
not 20, but
they come in from different.
How
places.
do they measure up
Listen,
against?
Wyclef spoiled it.
Spoiled Cannabis for you?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I can't call
Dude.
it. Motherfucking Wyclef spoiled.
He also,
This time I got 99 for it. Triple your nickel and put $14.99 on it. Matter of fact, we should get call Flex. Drop the bomb on it about 10 times on it. Watch people call the request lines for it. Cypher Sounds keep pushing rewind on it. Be there for the album with the Cannabis design on it. 5 o'clock in the morning, you be standing in line for it. Yo, I live for it, die for it.
This guy hates hip hop.
I know.
Because I
knew
tear down mics and put an out of order sign on it, and it didn't matter. He murdered that whole second album. That cover was like fucking horrible.
Well, no, the second album was the 1000 BC album. That's fucking
It's a great album.
That album is amazing. Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah,
it's one of the worst. It's one of the all.
Fuck.
It's like
you. Fuck you. That's that second verse on that is fucking when he's like, it's crazy.
I like the Panama PI song. Listen, there's a lot of good shit between them, but there's songs like that just should never. The sperm song should have never been made, and I like it, but it never.
The sperm song
should have been made.
Is what it is. But the video, he had like his head.
I don't know if I've ever
on
seen
a sperm
that.
cell.
Wait,
no, there's a video and he's
what?
Cannabis is a
Stop
sperm.
it, dude.
Bro, I'm telling you.
That's
you know, he's in the verse. He's like, I was like,
I know it
I'm
very
swimming
well.
faster
Yeah,
than
I
everybody.
know all
No, he's
about
doing
it.
that. He's rapping and like looking at the camera, like I'm swimming faster than the sperm cell next to me, and he's a sperm. Bro,
Oh my flagello! My
Yeah.
legs and my arm is my flagello. That is the crazy. That's like, you know, they were. What's that guy's name? Billy, the guitar player from like the late '80s, early '90s. Billy. What is it? No, he was.
Cannabis.
Is it Billy?
Sperm song.
He had like a video that's known as the worst video of all time. It destroyed his career.
Oh yeah.
The Stroke. The Stroke. What's that song? Billy something. The Stroke. Nobody knows that. Fucking hip hop.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking
Billy
about.
Squire.
Billy Strokes? What?
Billy Squire. The video for The Stroke was known at the time as like the worst video of all time. Ruined his career. And perhaps this is part of.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he
is
was
the
like,
name
you know,
of
he
the
was
song?
like Terrence Trent D'Arby. Right? Everyone was like, this is the best musician of all time.
Rain, go away. Terrence Trent D'Arby, right? Put on your wet boots.
What was his
Yeah,
big song?
put on your wet boots. Rain, go away. That was Trent.
Really?
Yeah, Terrence Trent D'Arby. Yeah, my mother used to bump the fuck out of that shit. What the fuck is the name of that song? Like You're My Heart or something?
You ever fun? You ever
Yeah.
fun?
Beneath for you or something?
I love you more than I love myself. And in the middle of the night, I
Yeah.
heard you calling and you seem to be alright. I'll be there for you
How the
if
fuck?
you tell me all your secrets. And then the beat just changes. It's like,
He's like,
man
I'm a
meets
sperm.
man meets girl, girl sees man. You know, it's just, you know, it's like what.
So good.
And how long after I Gave You Power does that song come out?
I honor
Everybody's
you.
rapping it. If this was like a
I honor you.
mockumentary, I honor you.
I honor you. I have to get to the fucking podcast. Yeah, dude, look at yeah.
That's
Yeah, dude.
Cannabis's face on that sperm.
Oh no, it gets all close up and shit. It's great. I can't wait to show you this.
So
Dude, who let
fucking
that
weird.
happen, man?
Oh, dude, the '90s were
Who
wild.
let that happen, though?
The '90s were wild.
You know what's a great is Free from Boston is on that album.
Yeah, he wrote.
Free be the one rocking shit.
He
special.
wrote the shit. He wrote free shit.
He wrote Free shit. Oh, yeah, you can see it.
There it is.
And sent,
I'll find it. Hold on.
would they test it? Would they ask
This is
incinerate
so-
hoes? Would they
So
ask
much-
holes?
There is so much sperm in this video. It's like it's just sperm, dude. It's just so much sperm, dude. It's so much sperm. I promise you, it's in there. I'm like passing all the shit, dude. Go. I promise you for a fact that cannabis is on a fucking sperm cell, fucking swimming towards the egg. Oh, it's got to be right here, dude. It's like I was the one who swam the hardest.
By the way, I do love.
Yo, that should be
I
the
do love
beginning of the
second
show
round.
to start with that.
I do love second round knockout, but it is the oddest. The whole thing is just so like. Why is Mike? What's Mike? How
Yeah,
did
yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Tyson show
Oh,
up
You
here?
hear that shit? So,
So
on,
good.
on Fat Joe's podcast, Mike Tyson talks about how like he loves fucking LL Cool J, like they're boys and shit, and they thought it was like a joke, and like they were like, yo, Mike, why the fuck did you do that? And he's like, I don't like. They're
It's
all,
over a voice. I don't think
they
they
were all
did it
mad
in
at him,
person. It
but
sounds
they
like
were all
it sounds
mad
like
at
a
him.
voicemail.
Like Fat Joe was like, yo, Mike, why the fuck, like, why are you getting involved in that shit? He's like, I didn't even know it was like a real thing. He had no like. He had
I'm
no,
telling you, that wasn't even done live. It's like remember the Capone Noriega album, one of the great War Report, one of the great albums of all time. But I do remember being a little bit disappointed that the featuring Nas was a voicemail message.
Oh shit!
right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know,
That's kind of like Nas with this new 50 Cent
dude,
feature.
who can name one of the albums that was promised on the liner notes of the War Report that never came out?
oh, there was like 10 of them. Fucking, like, but that was everything, and like that was everything.
There's got to be a website that has all of those. Man.
Yeah,
Maze and Mussolini.
Dude, like how many like Cormega albums and Nature albums and fucking like there's so many people that just had never just came out like
Dude.
never.
And-
Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, like
One of
fucking,
the greats.
like
Two of the
fucking-
greats. Two of the greats. My brother got him.
Not even just Broken Language and fucking My Brother Mike.
No, dude.
the fact that Wishbone has never put out a solo album though, that's what gets
He
me.
never has?
No,
Oh, I'm thinking Milkbone.
Milkbone.
Who's Wishbone?
I don't know.
from
what
Bone Thugs and
Oh, from
Harmony.
Both Those and
it is.
Harmony.
Oh,
He hasn't?
okay, yeah.
No.
See, I like those.
Milkbone, the cover with the glass broken in blood.
Are you guys big Bone fans? You guys?
I mean, he is.
I know he is. I know he's.
I would
That's
never,
why I take the blue
I would
pill.
never diss them. In an age where everyone sounds the same, to diss Bone Thugs and Harmony is just a stupid thing to do. Is it my favorite
That's
group?
that's
No.
what DJ On
But-
and On.
and I will
rest
say-
in peace. He always used to hate on Bone Thugs and Tupac.
Well, just to be a dick to you.
Well, like,
But
He seemed mighty serious.
and the other thing is
Hurt
this:
my feelings.
Notorious Thugs is one of the greatest rap songs of all fucking time.
Yeah,
it is.
that's
It
a
is an
great song.
opera. It is not even a fucking.
It's
song.
an
I
opera.
can't
It is
even.
an opera.
And like it's one of the greatest rap songs of all time.
do you know the lyrics to the last 3 verses? Can you do it? Can you actually?
thinking-
Everyone can do the first verse. Everyone knows that one.
I was
But
already.
Can you do like the engine window?
I probably-
that mean?
I
Like
probably could, but then you'd have me caught up with an N-word
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
tough.
Thug love.
fast.
stuff.
I mean, one of them, listen, that's the thing about Bone Thugs. Everyone knows, like, somehow there's like 3 syllables surface that everyone knows. Like my Uncle Charles,
y'all.
No, I just remember I brought in Shots to the Double Glock in like middle school, that song, and it played it for the class. What? As like everyone like picked a song for this project we were doing.
Is that on East 99?
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
It's the last song on East 1999.
What's the first one, like the EP that was like that had
That was Creeping on a Come
Creeping
Up.
on a Come
Oh.
Up. See, you like raw shit. I'm surprised you don't like that fucking song. It was like 6 songs on that little short fucking
Dude,
EP.
I'd kill someone for that cassette
There was
tape.
what
Don't get
was
me
it?
wrong.
Yeah.
No Surrender was on that.
No
Was that it?
surrender.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, it also
But-
came out of nowhere. Bone Thugs was something hip hop. What a huge thing that
in the
was.
video, they were all like doing that gang
Also,
shit.
had
and
we ever
everything.
heard of anything? If you were on the East Coast at the time, you guys had a lot going on, but I didn't even.
No.
Did we know anything? It's not
There
like
still wasn't anything like that.
I wish I could say I was collecting Isham records, but I'm not. I wasn't. I did go back and get some. I got some. I got an original copy of Boomin' Words from Hell.
I never really got.
Well, maybe
into
not
it.
original. The original
Okay.
copy was like 15 copies. And
I
was
gave
drunk,
my
but-
uncle. I like traded.
You have an uncle who listens to Isham? the
No,
Clown?
and he was like, "That was garbage. What you gave me." I'm like, "That shit's actually worth something now.
Oh.
I need it back,
Dude.
You can only get the reissued of Kill the Fetus.
Jesus Christ, that's a what the fuck?
Dude.
Yeah, I never. Like,
Dude.
Kill the Fetus.
Isham is the.
Booming Words from Hell, and then
Here's the
there
first
was
one.
Male Dominance was my favorite, but they had like Do You Believe in God by Nodis, which is Satan backwards. That was Isham's group with
Right.
Mastermind and TNT.
Hey, you know what's another interesting group that I don't know shit about? Maybe you do. Is the
Crucial Conflict, finally.
The Dalton. What is it? No,
They were-
terrible.
the Dalton brothers or the
No,
Dayton family.
Dayton family with
What's the deal with
no,
FBI?
Shoestring
Shoestring. Now, what's the deal with them?
They had a
They're
track,
clearly
fucking-
the real deal. I mean, they were clearly like
they were-
running trap houses and shit. Like that's when
Wait,
you
it
listen
was-
to that
I
shit,
bought a
it does
Dayton-
not sound like fucking.
They had a video
That
on
is-
TV.
that
What the
sounds
fuck
real
was
as
it?
banging down the door. Yeah, that's cops busting
What was,
down the
what
door.
was their
music.
big fucking
They're-
song off their first album? I bought their.
Are
first
they from
album.
Dayton, Ohio, or are they from?
Oh
somewhere else?
yeah, dude, you didn't see the album cover for the first fucking? They're like at like a burned down house with their like hockey jerseys.
Yeah,
and
I
shit.
really like those and the Fifth
Yeah.
Ward Boys album
Fifth
covers
Ward
from
Boys,
back.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck was?
They're
the
not
di-
pen and pixel covers, though. There's some
No.
greatest album cover.
These ones weren't joking.
Greatest album cover ever.
KRS-One
What?
and Buckshot. That's
a great-
survival
it's a good
skills
album.
album cover is so.
Oh, I don't know about the cover.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, that's a dope cover.
That's the.
Oh yeah, I love that
Survival
cover.
skills.
What's on your mind?
there was a song on that. There was a big single on that.
I'm sorry. I like the KRS
That's
One Marley
the-
Marl album. That's the album I like. Hip Hop Lives.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
remember
one.
that being
It's
a good
very
one.
good
I don't remember anything about it now.
Although Marley Marl just kind of like takes people's
I'm going
beats.
through a thing. That's what.
Does
it is.
he?
Yeah.
Is he another one of those?
I mean, that'd be a really great episode or something. Like I mean.
Have you ever done
what's
an
the
article
deal?
on this shit?
Yeah, no, nobody ever wants to talk about it. And Static Selected doesn't talk about how the Wreck song ends up on a fucking Ghostface album 2 weeks later.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, like a Purified Thoughts is the Rex beat.
What was Purified Thoughts on?
It's a great Ghostface because it's like a purple cover.
The Apollo
Kids.
Kids.
Apollo
yeah.
Kids, yeah.
That had some
First
fucking
song.
heat
First song.
on that shit.
Ghostface
that album was
albums,
fire.
There's like
When he writes
26
his
of
own
them, so-
songs, they're really good.
like
Some of the
26.
albums that he's just going through the motions are just painful. That Adrian Young shit is just terrible. He's my favorite
Wait,
rapper.
what did you think of the something the Emerald City? That was like his 808 and Heartbreak album.
Love
You
it.
love that? I knew you
I-
were going to say that.
Do
In a
Over is
weird
one of
way.
the great
Do you know that
love
that's,
songs if you're
That
calling
is
them.
that is
That's
it.
good. Can I
get it?
That's
Yes.
Ghostface.
Is that not
Yes,
one of
it
the
really
great-
is.
That's
They're
his
not
favorite
wrong.
album that he did. When you ask Go,
He
when,
loves
like, when
it.
you see him in interviews and they say like, "What's your favorite album?" He always goes to Ghostini.
You know what's the funny?
that's his favorite
you know
shit.
what's
Really?
the funniest
Fantastic.
Ghost
I
album
swear
when
to
you
God.
listen to it though is what's the one right after Bulletproof Wallets? Or maybe I'm thinking of
Ghostini. That was Ghostini.
So Bulletproof Wallets though, it's like they don't even take out any of the background vocals on the loops. He's just like rapping over. Like that's his album Big Girl's on, right?
I honestly don't remember much of that album.
There was a song with Ray Kwan. There was a single. It was about chicks. That's all I really remember. Like it was a song.
Well,
about
Ice Cream is the best.
Hey, you know what's a
song about chicks?
You know what's a slept on? I really like I like the Yin and the Yang Capadonna's second album.
Yeah, you like that one.
Black and white, beautiful treatment. Aguilar, Don Bishop did a lot of the production.
What label was that on?
I bet Razor Sharp, I think.
Okay. Aguilar did a bunch of production. Huh?
Yeah. Also known
Adolf.
Also known as Adolf the Assassin, one of the most
notorious
unfortunate names in hip-hop history.
Well, that and Holocaust. You're Jewish, right?
No.
Fucking.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about the shit that like the Griselda's doing, like all that shit Conway's doing?
I don't know. I'm not here to fucking pass judgment on anybody's shit. I'm past that.
No,
I'll tell you my reaction though.
It's crazy,
is that I can't believe it doesn't have more pushback. But that's the thing. This is like every time someone wants to come for one person, it's like, well, how about that?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
And he's, and the other thing is like, if anybody like gets mad at like about Hitler Wears Hermes now, it's like it's literally 12 years.
Yeah.
He's been doing. He's got 15 mix. It's like, and honestly, that it does crack. I really love the Griselda stuff. It's so amazing to me how mainstream it is. But honestly, I don't think. And I don't mean the music, but how West Side Gun, who literally raps about fucking selling crack. But that's Jay-Z hangs out with Obama. So what's the fucking difference? You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It is kind of funny.
It's funny.
I get in trouble when I say like I write as a journalist and it's like one thing, like one fucking word out of place, and there's 100 letters, and it's everyone's after you on Twitter. And the truth is whatever. I'm not complaining. My point is when
the written word
when
you
it's
can't get
said
away with
when
shit.
It's rapped, forget it. I mean, the Vinny Paz is a great example of like I wrote an article where he said something to me about I don't even want to repeat it now because it's been dead for years.
What was it?
He said something to me in an interview, and actually I've written about this, but basically about like cops and guns and shit, and I printed it, and the fucking every show on the tour got canceled except for the Middle East, the only venue. The New York police, like the hip hop unit, which is a very real thing. I've seen them, despite their denying it for years. Got a fucking hand of it. It's not early internet, but it happened. And I'll never forget. I saw Frank, his cousin with the tattoos, like his manager, at the Middle East, and he sees me walk in the door, and he goes, "Dude, get the fuck out of here right now. If Vinny sees you, you're fucking dead." I'm like, "What?" I had no idea that this had happened. It wasn't like there was no Twitter or anything. It was just this thing that had fucking happened. And my point, but listen, it all got fucking, esoteric, like squash the beef, but like. The truth is, like, he fucking says he's going to shoot cops on every single song 10 times. But he says it once in one fucking interview, and it gets shows. He was going to go on the stage, and I'm not mad, and say all this shit. But it's a different thing. I live in a different world. Yeah.
It's just
no complaints. It's just fucking true. It's my reality.
It's just funny that, like, and I don't, like, obviously care about, people fucking say what they want to. They want to give the shit. But it's just funny that, like, you can, like, wear Hitler clothes and, like, call you shit stuff and have, like, fucking pictures of Holocaust, like, on fucking T-shirts and, like,
and
I haven't heard a single. I haven't heard a single fucking peep about it. Like,
it's too sophisticated. Who's gonna like look at that and understand anything? Like, I'm in the groove here, and I'm a little like the whole thing is
still
like,
Hitler though.
Crossed out. It's art. It's still basically. Hitler. So. And and he's got but he's like, he'll be hanging out with like fucking Ralph Lauren, like,
Yeah. Well, my homie Sam Buck wears that shit, and they walk. It's like Hitler with like double fucking eyes and shit, and like it's fucking like he just.
Well, nobody thinks he's serious.
Well, I had
Sam's
to.
unnerving. So
when they were coming out, they had Benny the Butcher cool was opening up for Terminology. No, he just like 2 songs. Just drove down from New York to just perform Shower Shoes or whatever the fuck with Terminology. And was I going somewhere with this, or is there a reason that I'm talking right now?
You're talking about.
See, I am getting secondhand.
You're talking about that early Middle East show.
I'm talking about.
Like
I ran over there. I had the vinyl for
the one with him, like the cartoon on the cover, like on the back of the.
Wasn't that an Aldovino cover?
I think.
Okay, sorry to bring up Aldovino again.
I don't know who the fuck Aldovino even is.
SD Next, boy, why are you hating so hard?
I ain't hating on anything. I just don't know who he is.
Oh, you guys listen? You guys listening to Bub Styles? He's got
I've heard of
the
that.
darkest, raspiest voice you ever heard in hip hop, man. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's like
OT the Real?
you put me onto him.
Yeah. OT the Real. He has that gravelly fucking voice.
Dude, OT the Real is dope. I mean, I
No
I
Ja
listen to
Rule,
it
though.
in littles, you know, like the
Yeah, you can
I,
only.
yeah, I mean, it's drug dealing rap, and you know, but I'll tell you that song with Millie's is fire, unbelievable.
What do you think about Millie's?
I can't admit he is so good. I gotta say, I'd be the first to like respect him if I was. And
You see,
his
you've
younger
been
stuff,
there for the whole thing. Yeah, you've been there for the whole thing.
and the early stuff, and maybe I just because I was like, wasn't what I was the kind of stuff, and it's he clearly has always had like lyrical dexterity, but this kid is so good. He's so fucking good, and the beats are great, and I love the way that he's popular, and he could still do like a fucking beat that would be like on a not the like a soft, in the '90s hip hop. He's kind of like the OT the Real joint with Millie's. It's a very it's like this light like.
They got the Eminem sample,
and he
fucking
rocks
from
it, dude.
The Dido shit, the fucking Stan sample with the T's Gone Cold and shit. Have you heard that track?
No, he did that.
Yeah, they got the track that he's rapping over. That like they got the beat's a little different, but then the hook comes on.
He
It's-
says amazing things, dude.
No, but
He
So
goes,
Millie's is dope. This is what I'm hearing
He
right
goes,
now.
my big bro made America's Most Wanted. Who you came up under? Fucking shit. Who says lines like that, man? The kid is fucking on fire. I'm so glad to see it. And the other thing, that's a humble kid, right? That's a humble dude, not kid anymore. That's a humble guy right there, and it's a big part of it. I think whatever people see when they see Millie's on Instagram. Dude, this is a guy who I'm telling you, he remembers everyone. He fucking takes care of people behind the wall. He's fucking always been real to his friends. That this shit didn't come out of nowhere, you know. And anybody
Well,
who
he
thinks
was
that you can accomplish that, doing what he's doing as a fucking scam for years, is an idiot.
They had a Millie's song on WERS before I even started.
That's
with
what I'm
Kerosene,
saying.
White boy
I
like
think.
me.
like he
Was
would
that
do,
what it was?
Well, that was the mixtape.
He was
probably the
doing
first
shows
one.
when AWOL
Oh,
was
yeah.
doing shows.
Yeah, dude,
That's
he
what
was.
I'm saying.
Well,
Like,
he would
that's-
live down the
that's
street.
what
I
I'm
mean, he
saying.
was like,
It was crazy.
yeah.
Like, yeah, he's
Dude,
you know.
if you've never seen it, and anybody watching, I really recommend it because people ask me about Millie's all the time. Like, what is he? This white guy with tattoos on his face, and he's from Cambridge, what's the deal? He sells drugs, and I say very simple: watch the fucking video for. Oh God, now I'm gonna forget the it's like autobiographical. Strawberry Goya. I don't. And it's his story. It's his life story, and he has a kid playing him, selling fucking crack outside the bodega in Cambridge. It is, and it's a great track, dude.
I'm gonna have to go give Millie's a listen.
Oh,
he
dude,
had-
did you hear the Static album that he did
Millie,
with him?
the verse.
Oh, was it a mixtape?
The
No,
verse he has on
full
Government.
album.
The
Eight-
verse.
When?
9 tracks, 4 years ago. It was when Millie's was first starting to blow up.
His verse.
That's not White Boy Like Me.
His verse
No,
on
that's
fucking
10 years earlier.
Ignatius on the Jadakiss album. Ignatius, that what that Government Cheese fucking track. That fucking track is
Millie's
fucking.
kills it, dude.
I didn't know anyone remembered anything off of the recent Jadakiss album.
Ignatius is an amazing album.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a good
It's
album.
amazing. Did you know the story behind Ignatius?
No.
His boy didn't tell anybody that he had cancer, and he passed away. It was like one of his best friends, and all the ideas that he gave him, like throughout his life, that he didn't want to do, he did on that album. So it's all
Really?
like all the people he fucking wanted him to like.
That's
fucking,
the album you're gonna make when I die.
Yeah.
All my ideas.
Exactly.
The final,
No,
finally, that
What we're gonna do is Capadonna pillage
I'm not
your
gonna-
fucking collection.
we're gonna do what we're gonna do. I gave you power from the perspective of a bologna sandwich.
Well, actually,
I
I
gave you
got some beats
cholesterol.
I got some beats from Todd. I finished the first track already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
well, you still have shit the 781.
I was playing him
joint.
some shit. He fucking,
Yeah, he was playing me some
looks at me-
crazy unreleased fucking AWOL shit.
know what he says to
He's
me?
playing me some Slain shit.
You know what he
feature.
says to me? He goes, 187 is like the code for murder. Like,
That's what Chris
he literally
told,
says it.
Chris
to me,
told
like,
Chris?
like I'm grandma.
I didn't tell him that. I said 781 was the area code for this. Chris is just trying to make me look bad.
No, it's a dope.
Damn.
Not hardly. It's a dope track.
Do you know?
Memorable.
Do you know 311? KKK.
Wait,
Anybody
what's
know
it?
about that?
That's the second time. you brought up
311's a
KKK in
racist
this one
band?
thing. What's going on with you? A third time, Beetlejuice is going to come.
Down.
Okay,
down.
first and foremost, we need to talk about the fact that Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted, is one of the greatest rap albums of all time. That was the Bomb Squad one that other Chris was referring to earlier. But we also got to bring up the fact that Spice won America's Nightmare. That's the difference. It was America's Nightmare.
I don't know shit about Spice One.
Spice One was
Spice
I know
Spiggity-
who he is.
Spiggity-
definitely. It's like
He's
the
MCA.
Quiet Taste.
He's like the East Bay MCA.
Well, I'll tell you, there's
No, they're very different.
one person I slept on
Snaps
forever,
up
even though
Petrol.
Bad News, who was one of the great Boston rappers of all time,
Yeah,
told me
I
his
was just
favorite
wondering,
rapper.
where the fuck did he go?
He got a real job, man.
He's
fucking
driving
taking
trucks.
care of his shit. Yeah, I see him around every now and then.
Yo, he sold out.
Nah, man.
What?
He's a good dude.
Bad News sold out. That's what you're saying.
Bad News recorded a couple songs of Blue Sky Black Death that I don't think were ever released in our
Bad News is on the first.
But some of his were released on the Blue Sky Black Death.
Oh, they were. Oh, they
I
put
thought
him
one
out.
of them was.
Right, they put him out, but he was gonna have a whole like album.
Oh, okay.
But he what I bring up? Oh, Bad News had always told me that his favorite, his favorite rapper was Crooked I.
Really?
He always told me that, and I'd never even heard Crooked I, and now we all know how dope
so
Crooked
cool.
I is.
That's
Maybe
so
you
funny.
already did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, what's he called
He was on
now?
that for a
King,
while. King Crooked.
King Crooked.
Yeah.
Everybody named themselves after fucking booze and drugs and.
Dude, do you remember those commercials? The St. Ides fucking Crooked Ice commercials with fucking, they had Nate Dogg, they had Snoop in them, they had fucking Method Man in them, Redman was in one of them.
What's
I think
that
the Loonies were
Wait,
in one of them.
for which?
St. Ides, Crooked.
Oh, St. Ides. I
that
started
group?
thinking about the Sprite commercial with Crisscross.
No, the better one was
It
the
all comes back
always
to
the Jadakiss Allen Iverson commercial. The Nike commercial with their fucking the basketballs and shit. Jada was fucking rapping over it. That shit was dope as fuck. No, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? There's the Nike. You never heard the Jada. The verse is dope as shit too. It's like an early Jada verse, but.
Who's the group that
Maybe I'd remember if I
everyone
wasn't high
pretends
as a
they
kite
like
right
from
now.
Atlanta? Clips.
Yeah.
What's one of those guys changed
They're
his
not from
name?
Atlanta. They're
now?
from fucking
No Malice.
Macon.
Malice
No,
went
Virginia.
from Malice to
Virginia.
No Malice.
Right. You're right.
fucking.
Yeah,
what do you think about? So
The second Clips album is one of the greatest rap albums of all fucking time. Hell hath no fury.
So
Are you
so everybody said.
shitting inside of my asshole right now. What the fuck?
So Boston, right? Boston.
Jesus,
Everybody-
the Eminem
I remember,
show and
I
now
remember
the Clips
it was
second
literally
album?
like white New York Times critics being like, nobody's ever rapped about cocaine before.
Nah.
It's the most fucking mediocre.
You don't like
Hold
it
your ass
because that
been doing that
album,
forever.
the production is so, it's
like
like
great-
Dr. Dre on point.
There is one good Pharrell fucking produced track ever.
Mr.
And-
Me Too?
No.
The first
Miss-
fucking
wait,
Grandmaster Flash
fucking-
album had
They
Super
were-
Thug.
Hold on. They-
Run Laps Around the
No,
English
but
Channel.
Clips-
You can't do that.
But Clips is the first Me Too.
I always hated that
tried.
line. I always hate that. I hated that line. You can't run laps around the English Channel. Just can't do it.
But did you know Clips was around with the Me Too shit before the Me Too movement?
Like on what side of it?
Mr. Me Too, the produced
gotcha.
track.
Right. That was a single.
That was a single.
Hold on. So fucking like
Like Chinese New Year, you don't like that song?
I just don't like.
Oh my god.
you guys have been around Boston hip hop.
Fuck!
Like literally forever. Like
for a long time.
for a long fucking time.
He's
Not
been
since
around
the
it too
inception
long.
of
He
it.
thinks an NBS album is the greatest rap album of all
There's a
time.
lot of great MBS albums.
Where do you
That
think
Trapped in America is one?
Where do you
definitely
think the
one of
state
them.
of Boston
They're dope.
music is
I
now? You too. What do you think the state of Boston music
I
is
mean,
now compared?
who am I to say?
Who do you like out there? What do you
I like a lot of the artists, but the first thing is there's like two different. Not that they're like tiered, but my point is like you get two things happening now that never happened before.
Okay.
One, people just blow like Millie's and fucking Cousin Stiz. There's major Millie's not major label, but major artists selling out the fucking Garden. Are you kidding me? Never even fathomable in our time. And the other thing happening is for a lot of other artists. Cliff Notes, Oompa, a lot. They've accessed a lot of grant money. They're doing great community arts things. They're actually imagine that Boston, a city that is not totally, but actually almost supporting artists. This was the thing that never happened here. It fucking never ever would have imaginable happen in hip hop. Meanwhile, rock artists were getting Boston Foundation grants for fucking years. Finally, that shit's been unlocked. So that's why there's a lot of great stuff going on, whether the big numbers behind it or not. Still Gold has a festival
I was
next
going to
week.
ask you about that. So what do you think about?
I think it's a great example of the combination of the two things we're just talking about. So, obviously you got the city energy. There's, I'm sure there's nonprofit
So hold on.
sponsorships.
So just to explain, do you guys know what's going on? What's going on with this weekend?
I just know the groups.
There's
Dead
Still
Prez,
Gold, Dead Prez,
Earth Gang.
It's free concert, City Hall Plaza.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. So listen, I'm
A couple thousand people are going to be there.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I'm a hippie in that at heart, in the way that I wouldn't call myself an all-out socialist, but it's so ridiculous. I mean, listen, everybody would agree when we're talking like this. I'm not talking about you guys that this is not about money. It's fucking art. It's music. But hip hop is always bottom line. Who's the best rapper? This one made. You look at 30 of the 50 comments, or this one made more money. It's why Jay-Z has as many fucking fans as he does, because everyone's an asshole who thinks they want to be Jay-Z. And basically, that's not what fucking music is. And now that there's some other money, same with journalism. Now we started a nonprofit. Shit has to happen. This stuff has to happen. Art, reporting, But it ain't gonna happen under the regular capitalism model. We all saw how. I mean, when we were covering hip hop, everyone was fucking. We didn't call it trapping back then. Just old fucking selling drugs and fucking. People getting. God knows how many people we fucking lost to heroin. Jesus fucking Christ. And it was just not good. Everybody was in fucking. It was all. It was fun for us, but it was a lot of bad shit. And,
Right.
So a lot of people made it out, no doubt. And listen, a lot of people went to work in nonprofits, right? Even back in the day. Remember Expo, Jake the Snake was working like the Boys and Girls Club, like everybody. So like that element was there. So it's just nice to see that actually be fucking compensated. People don't have to pretend they're not rappers. People are proud of it.
Yeah.
But, so it's like
fucking Steel Gold, they were smart because they started cashing in on the whole like conscious movement.
yeah, well, and also
Like
they
immediately during the pandemic.
and it doesn't hurt that they have the studio, right? So a lot of the stuff that's happened. By the way, got to shout out Latrell James, one of the most talented and successful artists. People don't realize. People, whether they realize it or not, you hear Latrell James 10 times a week on radio commercials, McDonald's commercials. This guy, and he has a great, and he puts on such a great show. If you ever get a chance to see Latrell James, he'll perform for an hour. How many people do this? This guy's like. And he's got fans and he's got placement. So there's a lot of people making moves, but not to diss the old people. We all know, like, props to the detentions of the world who used to score Discovery Channel stuff for the, for money and then, make Jedi Mind Tricks beats at night. So it's
That's
like
so
everybody's
funny.
always had a hustle, but it's nice that it's more recognized now. There's more fucking government, public funding and support.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Do you think that Big Dookie Chain can get some funding from the government? I mean, I'm just saying.
I got a letter
Is
from the
it
government
time yet?
the other day. I opened and read it. They said we were suckers. That's what it is. You got to join.
I'm
a
trying to
war or
remember.
something.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Picture me giving a damn. I said never. Fucking, that's the shit right there.
Yes, sir.
What are you listening to now?
I was listening to.
Necro is all the fucking
New
this
shit.
kid listens to.
Any new shit?
I like Mercules.
Okay.
Gotta like
Canadian,
Mercules.
huh?
He's a beast, dude. He's
Yeah.
a beast. He grew up listening to like, La Coca Nostra and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like to the point where he used to literally show up, at those shows as a kid and stuff.
That's what I needed to get out here when we were talking about Creeping on a Come Up, the Bone Thugs and Harmony EP that Eazy-E put out on Ruthless Records. Anyway, when we were talking about that,
Yeah.
I remember bringing this shit up with Everlast and Ill Bill, the fact that La Coca Nostra, the skull with two guns, is taken from the back of the Creeping on a Come Up album cover.
Is
They
it?
had the two guns in the skull.
That's Danny Boy who does all the branding and everything.
Yeah, and they wanted, and Danny Boy was back there. I think this was during some Rock the Bells or some shit when we were talking about this. I remember them acting like they knew nothing about it.
You're always
like,
jumping in the
couldn't be
crosshairs,
true.
All right, so
Well, because I wanted to bring it back up. Are you looking at up right
no,
now?
I'm looking at the stuff what I've been listening to. So the new Apollo Brown, Planet Asia. I've been a stick figure is
You
really
like stick mellow music,
no,
right?
not stick figure.
Oh,
Stick STIKFIGA.
Figure.
An amazing story, by the way. This is a talk about
it's with an A at the
yeah, and he's
G-A
from
at the
like
end.
a state in the like some flyover like Idaho, some fucking state in the middle of nowhere. They built everything from fucking scratch, and it's kind of like Tech Nine always said. I go to. She told me once in every. He goes, I play places where I'm gonna be the first concert that most of those people ever fucking saw, and they will never forget that. There's like a billion people out there. Anyway, I props to Stick Figure. He's also done some shit with Laurent, who's one of my favorite producers. Rock Marciano, of course. This dude Mooch, who Static's doing some shit with, who sounds a lot like West Side Gun.
Yeah, he was on because he came out with a dope album.
Yeah.
An album on
Yeah.
DAUP.
I never stopped listening to fucking A$AP Rock Homeboy Sandman album. Lice is just unbelievable.
I should listen to that
It's
for
one
the
of the
first
best
time.
things ever.
I've never even
fucking
heard it.
recorded. Oh, props to the fucking Dunners.
Oh yeah, their
That
new
fucking album is so great. Dude, Loman and Shout. This shit is.
I haven't listened to it
it-
yet.
I don't think-
I know they put it out on vinyl.
I'm gonna
Vinyl
go
Index,
and I
right?
have it, and it's beautiful. And I gotta say, this is if you have a friend out there who used to listen to hip hop with, and now they're like an old
Dude,
guy, a suburban guy, send them this fucking album. Make them listen to it because this is an album for guys who go to work with the fucking lunch pail set. This is as good as it gets, and
that's
it's
the album
funny.
I was always
You're
looking for.
laughing.
They're fucking great.
Deese is, and I'll tell you, Oak's always competent. He's really stepped his game. This is like a guy who's like crafting every word, and he's hanging with Deese, and I really love them going back and forth. The Dunners have become a great thing, I gotta say.
Well, I like the thing he does on Instagram with the 5 things.
I was
learned
going
on
to
a
bring that up.
construction
The
He's got
site.
great stuff.
five things are the best.
He's great. He's hilarious.
I watch
Totally.
every episode of 5 things. I watched that whole fucking thing.
I'll give you just a few more. Ty Farris, Tyfarris. Kid is fucking just a beast.
Isn't that something like something cocaine or a bunch of his albums?
I'm sure there's a lot of cocaine involved. Great Terminology single called Dangerous with this dude K9's from Lawrence. Toby and Igwe. Anybody onto that shit? Whew. Toby.
You're on that new.
And then of course a bunch of Naughty by Nature, Craziest, Sleepwalking, Wickedest Man
God.
Alive, Goody Mob, still Necro, still not a
standing.
player remix, which
I don't even remember that one.
It's weird because he acts like Big Pun really doing a guest appearance. I don't know. It's very strange. It's very.
I got to go back and listen to that shit now.
Oh, it's like Big Pun already has this filthy verse, and then Necro's like, "What? Move over."
Little brown hairs everywhere.
Oh, he's way past the brown hair.
Yeah.
By the time you
Brown
get to
hairs
Necro,
everywhere.
it's despicable. It's not quite Violent Night like the Christmas song, which is the only Christmas song I play around the holidays.
And at that strip club interview thing we were doing, the co-host was Deanne Bilzerian's like younger brother, who's big into the pickup artistry scene. And Necro, like, and him just like boys, like they go out. I don't know. It sounded like those two go out and just pick up
Necro
chicks
picking
together.
up chicks at the bar. That's
That seems like
Shocking.
the guy who
Shocking.
accosts people on the street. He's smooth talking women.
Oh, I can't even watch those videos he puts up. It's too much.
You're the one who walking up and licking people in the face.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the thing. People are trying to cash in on what I started. fucking little teeny weeny, right? Little Dicky stole his whole fucking, added a little Judaism to it, and took his whole shit from me. Nardwar, whole shit. Hey, who was that person you said that said that I was
Joe Cohen, who's a very famous writer now, who's about to have a show on television, everything, and has a book out called The Lemon, under a pseudonym.
So this is a big guy.
Back then, he was the editor of Boston Magazine. This is a true story. I don't know how it came up. Maybe I gave him a copy of the Vance, like
the DVD.
the first
Behind the Rhyme.
Right? I don't know what it was, but somehow it came up, and they were going to do a feature. He ended up leaving for New York to go work for Portfolio magazine, but they were going to do a feature about how Van Styles is like the last real journalist in Boston. It was like this overblow, because he was like, everybody else is full of shit around here. Like, oh, you know what it was too? I think I had told him the story about how you asked. I couldn't believe you did it, dude. You almost got killed that day. You asked, what the fuck was his name? You asked a rapper, one of like a New York gun rapper, what his friends. You look at him and you go, well, how do your friends feel about you making nursery rhyme raps?
Oh, Mano.
And the guy looks at him. I've never seen a look like this. And you know what he does? It was like in White Men Can't Jump, when he's like, I'm going to get my fucking gun. Raymond, I'm going to come back. I'm going to shoot everybody. Literally goes to the car. He literally goes to the car. And we're all like, fuck, he's going to get a fucking gun. And his
Well,
his
he
boys,
said, I'm going to...
He did
he
say
said
it,
if
too.
If that interview comes out, I'm going to have this place shot up. Shoot this place up.
Anyway, so his friends like went and broke it, and he did the interview, and he still did the interview. I think
It was for Karmaloop. Did we continue doing that interview?
I think he did, and it was one of the most. It was definitely. It's the kind of
That
thing
was at the end that he
I think when
threatened my
like white
life.
people heard that I covered hip hop, I think that's what they thought every day at the office was like. But it was just that one day, and it was Van Styles' fault.
No, but you were... I'm
I was
remembering
right
for
there.
some
I was
reason...
standing right there.
I'm remembering for some reason the time you were asking if I wanted to smoke earlier, and I was like, that would be the end of my portion of the podcast. But you were there when Capadonna was in the blunt room at undergroundhiphop.com, and I smoked during the interview with him, and then I just like, what the fuck were we just talking about? Like somebody who's just like drank a fifth and like, yeah, I was out of it. I could not put two and two together after that.
I can't believe Quest let us party back there like he did. He was gone usually by the time.
Yeah, and you remember this kid, that kid that was into reggae 45's Mo Man?
Yeah.
He would always like clog the undergroundhiphop.com sink up with his blunt fillings and like this would be a post on like the employee board in the morning. Like we need to have a talk about that sink and somebody dumping all their blunt.
That is the most hip hop
entrails into the
right
fucking
next to the
sink.
toilet.
Asshole move. It's like I'm just gonna stuff the thing.
Yeah, that's such a Mo Man move too.
That is hilarious.
He came out with a book on like rare Jamaican 45s or something. They sell it at Vinyl Index.
You guys could probably
Props.
do a
That's
whole
so
series
weird.
on like just the stories.
I love
that.
that. Oh, beautiful colors. Those
Fucking yeah, but
I would
Chris-
collect those if I could.
But right now we got Chris's like we gotta
Let's wrap it up.
fuck it. We gotta.
No, I
probably
gotta
gotta
eat.
wait
I
up-
haven't
we gotta
eaten
fuck
one
over.
slice of pizza today. I gotta go eat.
I'm actually like getting secondhand high.
Yo, yeah.
Wrap it up.
Like,
Yeah, getting. It's been 2 hours.
Chris, you want to tell everybody what
how
we can,
high am
Wait,
I?
are you not smoking directly over there?
Oh, I am.
Oh, you are. I can't tell. It's just.
Are you guys clam baking the room? Is that what this is, huh? Are you hot boxing
It's not
the,
what
the,
it is.
the
Do you
room?
not have a smoke detector in here?
Do you? I don't fucking. How high are you right now? You gotta. You know what I mean?
Dude, my smoke detector, a vape pen, full turn the fucking make the thing go off. I live in like a prison. It's crazy.
Fucking. You want to tell them right there, like where they can find you, right?
Yeah, well,
right there.
Well, I'll have to come back and do the weed podcast. But basically, listen, I have two worlds right now. One is
Well, we already did the cannabis
Binge,
podcast.
Boston Institute for Nonprofit Journalism, where we do heavy lifting, a lot of police reporting, prison reporting, the kind of shit that even the big outlets don't cover.
We didn't even talk about the Popo and the Dig.
Chris will be back.
Right?
Chris is gonna be back. We got a million fucking.
Carry
stories.
on,
We
carry
don't
on.
We don't want to go.
I'm
there
not
right
with I'm not with Dig Boston anymore. Much no love lost. Dig is not really moving right now.
Binge.com.
So binge.org.
Show them the knuckles. Mob Deep's right there.
Or bingeonline.com or .org. But check it out.
Before everyone had
If
a
you smoke
tattoo.
weed, which you probably do if you're watching this, check out talkingjointsmemo.com. It is we are by far now the biggest weed newsletter and website in New England in just 5 months.
And I went on there to look at your merch. I think it said like the site's down or something. Is that right?
I don't know what you're talking about, too.
No. Do you merch on
What
this
the fuck,
talking
bro?
heads thing?
No, I'll get you some shit though. You're just looking at my fly hat and
And did I just make that up?
I think so.
You did. He's hot.
No, I know.
Yo,
I know
I'm
what you're.
stoned.
I know what you're talking about. ChrisFarrow1.com. I have my own merch.
Oh yeah.
That is my own thing. Where
But I'm still high.
it's just easy. I have a couple books out over the years, and honestly, I'm not like such a fucking hippie that like fuck. I don't like Amazon, but I
You
have
are
my
a
stuff
hippie,
there.
though. You
but
got-
I just rather people buy it for me. You know
He
what
said
I'm
I
saying?
have a couple books out over the year. Like we even like. You,
Right. We haven't really.
like
I
the
gotta
books-
go.
the-
We
yeah,
never
the
did
fucking
your
starving
intro.
books are crazy.
We'll talk about it another time.
You want to say
You're
bye
still
to
a
everybody now?
starving artist.
Thank you, man.
Do you want to say bye to everybody? Or do you not want to? Do you not care? You're
What?
gonna leave without
He's
saying
fucking
goodbye?
out of it.
Are we at the Big Dough Rehab? That's what I know. No.
You totally forgot about the Big Dough Rehab.
No.
Fish
That's
scale.
a Ghostface album.
Yeah, that I know.
But I'm
time.
saying, what's the name of our show?
What is it?
Big Dookie Chain.
Oh,
I
God,
just
it's
kept being
over,
like
dude.
Big Dough Rehab.
dude?
He said that
that,
last
Yo.
that might be a good name for the show.
How do you
last
guys
week he said
smoke
that.
this shit?
What is the Big Dough Rehab? What is that? I forget. What's the concept there? This is where we're going for rehab from all this cash type of thing.
I don't know.
That's gotta be what it is, and that is the most ghetto shit I've ever heard.
That is amazing.
You've heard-
BG Chopper City album.
you've heard
Yo,
worse
you got
kind of
Chopper City on cassette? Actually,
Those are worth a lot of money.
shit. Yo,
the vinyl of that.
Hold on. This thing keeps freezing.
Oh shit.
how long over are we?
So stoned.
All right, continue.
Fucking.
We're so stoned.
Well, we are stoned. We gotta go. Say bye to everybody, man.
All right, well, this is just the first of what I assume is going to be a succession of these interviews. We haven't even scratched the fucking tip of the iceberg, the frothy whipped cream off the egg beater or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We have, we haven't throat goated anything here. All right, there's nothing to see.
You can just say goodbye.
No, I was saying we got to do more Chris Farone
Oh,
podcasts
we're gonna-
because we didn't even talk about shit. We got so confused.
We're gonna have more.
Talked about fucking Planet Asia.
Chris will be in more. Chris is
Cannabis.
That's the whole new podcast concept.
I-
Where
Like-
you just play a song and I explain it to you.
Like,
Subscribe,
bells.
and flick your mama's titty meat. The nipples.
I'm done.
Oh God.
Like and subscribe.